All yins. Every one of yins.
I did the music. Give me some more. Turn up the radio. Friday! Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Up saying howdy, y'all. Happy Friday. Hope you're well. Hope life is just treating you as well as you deserve. Just going to be that kind of day, kids. Hope everybody's well. Hope life is treating you well. Hope you had a wonderful week. Hope you're set up and ready for a wonderful weekend. And of course, you are, friends, because it is week 0. Week 0 is here, friends. There is actual, legitimate, it counts, it goes on the records, it's up against you.
It was requested on the stream by
Yeah!
Look at that. Look at
that. Yeah! 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 Week 0 college football is here, my friends.
Hey, guy on the stream, aren't you like doing the show right now too?
Yeah!
Thank you though. Appreciate that.
I'm not gonna rat out who it is in case the boss is listening, you know. I'll just say I'll take all the attention anyone wants to hand me. That's it.
They could be off today.
It could be. I guess that's
possible. It's possible. Or, you know, we're all family here. And maybe he's not. He just knows we're on and knows how we did. I just heard a yeah in the hallway, by the way.
Yeah.
I absolutely heard one in the hallway.
I love it. I love it. See, this is why I love radio. It's just
start your Friday off right with some yeah, baby.
It's the only job that you take seriously that nobody takes seriously. It's the best. The best. We have got a show lined up for you today, ladies and gentlemen. A whole lot of stuff we got to get into over the course of. What do you mean, nope?
Poof.
All right, you're just clicking stuff now. I get it. I respect it.
You may continue.
Oh, may I? Yes, I may. Alarm. I'm not going to play with it anymore.
Yeah, stop it. All right, I'm over here doing stuff, so I'm nowhere near it now. So you can start the show.
Yeah, sure.
I thought, you know what? You know, it's like that thing when you're about to go on vacation. You know, it's like that thing.
By the way, Lonzo's going on vacation.
Yeah, well,
so
I'm not going anywhere, but I just won't be here.
Lonzo's reached that stage in his life where he's like, I got vacation. What am I going to do? Yard work, baby. All the yard work.
Yes, I have devised a plan on how I'm going to take care of some things that I've let go, even though it may require a chair. Well, because of my leg, but I got to get it done, and I got an entire week to get it done, and I'm going to get it done. I could probably ask for help, but you know.
I mean, you could. You won't, but you could.
You gotta have friends for that. No, not just that. Friends who are willing to do yard work. That's a different thing. If you need a friend, hey man, I need. Could you come over and help me move this couch? Probably got someone that could do that. If it's, hey, I haven't been able to weed eat for like 2 months. Could you come and help me do? Well, you know, I got a thing. Week 0. Got to watch all those games that really matter to me. Okay. All right.
Won't you watch the games just because they're on? It's been 792 days since we had college football.
All right, Rob, how about you regale us with the wonderful selection of college football that we have this weekend and why we should watch it?
We're opening with Notre Dame Navy.
Okay.
That one's going to be at 2:30. I'm watching that one because I want to see if Marcus Freeman in year 2 is good, and as should you, because that's a team you selected in your playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I know they're going to win, but I'm going to watch some of that game because I want to see the Irish crowd.
The Irish.
I'm curious about how they're going to react to American football. So
they've been playing this game in Dublin for like 6 years now. They love it.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Then why are they making a big deal about this year?
Because Notre Dame's there.
Shows you. Exactly.
The Irish.
So wouldn't the Irish be excited about Notre Dame?
I believe Notre Dame's played there before
Have
as well.
They? Okay.
I believe so.
Is it always on week 0?
Yeah. Next year is Florida State, Georgia Tech, as a matter of fact, in Ireland.
Okay, well that one, but I think Notre Dame being there is special.
I could be wrong. I think they have played there. Yeah, they played. In fact, not only have they played there before, they've played there twice before, and both times against Navy. Notre Dame is 2-0. The first time back in '96. The second time in 2012.
All right, so I love college football, but not as much as I love the NFL. And here's the thing: I don't work next week, so if there's a fringe game that I'm kind of like, maybe I'll watch, maybe I won't.
Respectfully, Zoe, I don't understand how we sat through this much not football, and now you're just like crapping on week 0.
I've been watching preseason NFL for sure.
This game counts. These games count.
Are the Gamecocks playing? Is Ohio State playing? Is Clemson playing? Or
listen, so you're not a football fan. You're just a schools fan. You're a fan of your school, but not football.
When it comes to college football, yes. If I have a choice, and I have said it before, so it's nothing new. I've been here since the beginning of this station. I just want to point that out. I've been saying it since then. If there's an NFL game, preseason game, versus a college game I don't care about, I'm watching the NFL preseason game. Even though it doesn't matter. I'm watching the NFL preseason game because I'm an NFL guy. Now, if one of my teams is playing, one of my college football teams, and I can have as many as I want because there's no such thing as an arbiter, I will watch that then. But right now, I mean, there's nothing that really – is there anything that will impact the season that's going to happen this weekend? I mean, again, yeah, there's a chance of an upset. There's always a chance of an upset. But outside of that, is there a game that matters this weekend other than, hey, we got college football back?
Notre Dame Navy. I think Notre Dame is in a position where, because they do not have a conference championship, style points matter. They are 30
so you're saying
in this one.
How many points?
They have to cover this game.
How many point favorite? 30 points favorite? Is that what you said? Now, if Navy were to upset Notre Dame, that is a big deal, especially for me since I picked Notre Dame to be in the Final Four. But that ain't happening.
Laying the points, by the way. Give me the Irish, lay the points.
Well, you think the flight over there and stuff, maybe there's some jet lag?
No, I just think Notre Dame's going to be that good this year. I think Sam Hartman is that much.
I was thinking the other way. See, this is why we need the point spreads for dummies, because I've already forgotten how it works.
Good thing I'm here. Good thing I'm here.
And you're an expert, so I mean, you've got a show on Saturday and everything that does that.
I sure
sort
do.
of
It's
thing.
pretty good too, if I may say so myself. It is pretty.
What I know it's not a football show, but what show is that, Rob?
It's Bet for the Cycle, the nation's best baseball gambling show, if you ask my mom. It airs from noon to 4 on the BetQL network. But I'm not leaving this conversation that we were having there. Great one. I just can't do it. I don't get it.
I wasn't trying to divert. I was just trying to give you a free
for the
plug.
record, on the show prep, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I will take it again. Bet for the Cycle, noon to 4 on the BetQL network on Fine.
All right. So it's not a free plug because I'm getting paid to be here, but it's still a plug though.
I will simply say I do not understand how we've gone this long sans the footballs.
I've already seen football. I've been watching preseason for a couple of weeks.
I understand.
It's not like there's been zero football. We've had some football.
NFL preseason football is wonderful. I watch it too. In fact, I got to go home today to press record on the living room TV. The new TV's ordered, by the way. New TV will be here on Wednesday. Decided to go with the budget brand 75-inch.
Oh, it's a shame it wasn't here tomorrow so you can watch all this amazing week 0 college football.
I'm glad you said that. The reason I got the 75-inch is so that I could use the ESPN 4 view on a big enough TV that it's like having 4 little TVs all at once. That is the only reason I went with the big TV. And I feel like it was the
Are you able
correct
to
decision.
switch sound between panels?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the ESPN 4 box is phenomenal when they do it because it highlights one and that's one of the sound. Then with your remote, you just highlight the one you want the sound from. It is pretty great. So, look, I haven't had football in a very long time. I know you've had NFL preseason football. NFL preseason football does not go on the record books. NFL preseason football is players trying to make the team, not teams trying to win. All right? It's players trying to make the team. And that's why it's great. If you did not keep score in NFL preseason games, it would be better, right? If you didn't keep score, it would be better. The only reason they keep score in those games is so that coaches can get situational work for guys who are trying to make the roster, which I appreciate, which I like, which I get. That's why preseason football is good. But this is bona fide college football that counts. I'm going to tell you right now, Ohio at San Diego State could be a game. Hawaii at Vandy could be a game. But if you are of the mindset if you are of the mindset
Hawaii
that
versus Vandy, that could be a gig. That could be a game. Yeah, it's going to be a game.
Of the mindset that if they can't play for a championship, they don't matter. Then you're losing out on some great football, my dude.
Why do I got to have that accent?
Great court.
Okay, well, that's true, but I'm not originally from there. But okay, if I do want to blend, though, I can do it.
Hell yeah.
Dadgum.
Hell yeah.
All right, so you got some action going, or you've got the Carolina Panthers playing in the final preseason game. You watching the action, or you watching the Carolina Panthers playing?
The Panthers play tonight. All the games are tomorrow for college football. There's no Friday night action tonight. Now I got Burns Rebels High School football coming up for you tonight. They're on the road at Chapman High School up in Emmons, South Carolina. That is 2 plugs in one segment. Dang, we're good.
Oh yeah, I saw a precursor to the video. I saw a pre-video of a thing that's being done. They didn't tell you about it.
I got told there might be something involving the Jumbotron tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if it's done yet, but I got a preview. And
how did you get a preview and I didn't get a preview?
Dude, do you know who I am?
Yeah, that's fair. I want to be mad at that, but
I know the guy who's doing it. So I mean that's why. That's why. And you'll be spending time with him next week. So
yeah, that checks out.
It looks pretty good, but it's going to sound really good too, with Rob Brown's voice booming through.
Touchdown, Rebels!
I picked a good one too.
Did you?
Yeah,
I hope so. Because they're hit or miss. Like the majority of them are okay. Like most of the touchdown Rebels, like that one was okay.
Well,
but every now and then in the heat of battle, you get one that's just primal, man.
No offense to, but I also had to pick one that was just you. So that took a little bit. Yeah. So
you could tell Sam and Lane to back off.
No, man, they need to do their job.
Back off, fellas. You're ruining my highlights.
They do their job well. And it's a wonderful broadcast. Cannot wait to listen tonight. And hopefully Burns picks up a victory.
I'm pretty excited, to be honest with you.
By the way, he diverted the attention himself this time. That wasn't me.
I don't know how you don't watch college football this weekend. Even if every game sucked and it's between a bunch of non-bowl eligible teams, I still want football players playing football, big meaty men slapping meat. Let's go.
Thank you, Big E. Again, I've watched football for a couple of weeks now. If I were leading life with a zero football diet at this moment, even these mere morsels that are coming up tomorrow on week 0, which also makes you think, if it's on week 0, does it matter? I don't know. I would watch then, but I've had plenty of football. I'm not saying I won't have it on in the studio while I'm doing my show tomorrow night, because I will. I always do. But I'm not as excited for it as you are. I am curious.
Clearly.
I'm curious if everybody else is, though. I mean, are you a college football guy only or girl only, or are you an NFL person only? There are some of those out there. I love them both, but I love one more than the other. And I've already got some football, and there's no team tomorrow that makes me go, man, I'm sitting down.
You picked Notre Dame for the playoffs, man.
And what did I pick them to do?
Go to the playoffs.
And I picked them to have one loss, which was against Ohio State, which means I know they're going to win tomorrow. Why I need to watch?
No.
Yeah, I know. You're already going to put money. You said you're going to put some money down on the over.
Already did.
Yeah. So
on the over and
it was 30 points, dude. I mean, So you're saying come out and watch Notre Dame score a bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, if they come out and they look remarkable, right? Like if they come out and they look remarkable.
Against who?
Navy.
Okay.
With a new head coach, Niumatalolo's not there anymore. They brought up a new head coach. They brought up an offensive coordinator from an FCS school that goes wide open spread offense. We're going to see the next generation of Navy football tomorrow, Lonzo.
Yeah.
How are you not pumped about that?
I want you to use a tone that makes me want to watch, because that was not it.
I don't know what to tell you. It's football season in America, and those of us that love America will be watching football tomorrow.
Yeah, Steven, I get it. If you're going to pick a great college game over the NFL, we're live on stream, by the way, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on the X Show. So check it out so you can see just the disgust on Rob's face, because
I'm not trying to hide it.
Because I was truthful. I could have went with it and been like, yeah, I cannot wait for week 0. But but yeah, I'm not feeling that. I'm just not. Now next week, that's a totally different story, because there's some good games next week, all the way through the weekend, because it's Labor Day weekend, and they put college football on Sunday and Monday also, including them Tigers playing on Labor Day night.
Them Tigers. You got Sunday night, late Sunday night, little LSU Florida State action, Clemson Duke on Monday. By the way, I read the sentence yesterday when Clemson.
Even when I say it, I have to do it. It's just how it goes.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You're gonna miss it next week. Although I could leave a message for the dude.
The dude.
Yeah, but he won't have the same kind of timing.
I did read the sentence yesterday. When Duke takes on Clemson next Monday, Riley Leonard will be the best quarterback on the field.
That's disrespectful right there. I mean,
Uh-oh.
I bet he can't do this. You gotta look on the stream to see what I
is. Is that disrespect?
That is disrespect. Don't you think that's disrespect?
Not really. Riley Leonard is pretty good.
I know
is
you.
A 9-3 Duke team.
You've been pumping up that Duke team. So
the 9-3 Duke team that did not lose a game by more than 8 points last year. Every game that they lost was within single digits. There's something to be said for that, boys.
By the way, this is not a trap, but I do want to point out that
it's a trap.
that his tone and his excitement changed when he got to talk about football that mattered, as opposed to week 0 football. There's just a difference in how you were speaking.
I don't know
you were excited about that Duke Clemson matchup.
You want me to not be excited? I mean, I guess I could try to be less excited.
No. You show that there's more excitement for that than there is for week 0. I get you're trying to sell week 0.
You can be more excited about a thing, but still be excited about the thing that you're less excited about.
Not me. I'm up to 11 on everything. Listen to my voice right now.
And a 12 next Saturday. All right, we got to take a break. Because we got to stay on the clock. Because
do we?
Yes, because at the end of this hour, Rashad Beard is going to join us. He has concluded this week's Spy School. He will join us to end this hour of the show. When we come back here in just a minute, we get the feels out of the way. Yesterday, the wrestling world lost a guy that I very much am willing to say reached legendary status well before the end of his career. I was an enormous fan, and I hate what happened yesterday. We'll talk about that. Then Rashad Beard, next hour of the show. Kevin and John from the Moving the Chains podcast are going to join us. We'll talk some high school football, and then we'll make our week 0 predictions. I will, because Lonzo's not excited about it. Coming up to start the third hour.
I can make predictions. It's going to be easy.
Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It is the Fan Upstate. Clay Hendricks definitely sounds like an old offensive lineman, doesn't he?
Hey, man. Me too. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? Y'all look like you're doing all right for a Friday.
Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. Fresh scent of
Yeah, I get it, Keegan. I've been seeing things where they're talking about they've canceled everything that they're gonna. It wouldn't shock me if there is no SmackDown tonight. That is just a tribute
I don't think they can take it off. I think you do a tribute at the beginning
because
You
tickets
do
are
a-
already sold and everything.
you
Yeah,
do
I
a
get
10
it.
count to start it.
I get it. Yeah, but
The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day.
hey,
Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have off the #1 dermatologist recommended repellent brand.
you ever had a Tony D pool party?
Oh, yeah.
You're
you
from.
said
I
pool
was
parties
gonna
in
say you're
Colorado.
from Florida, so
Yeah.
you probably.
How much time do I have left?
A minute and a half.
I'll go next. How you doing? Forget about it. Forget about it.
Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years. From a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
I will send you something on Twitter.
Okay.
Take it from Marco and millions of other
Turn
businesses
up
who use ZipRecruiter.
the
ZipRecruiter can help you
radio.
find the needle in the haystack.
That is that's awesome. Now you see why I laughed out loud. That was great.
That's really funny.
I'm probably bigger than he is, but I don't care. It's still that's funny.
They'll help you find the best color combinations with slacks, shirts, polo suits, and so much more. There's nothing quite like surprising your sweetheart with a new getup that has you looking your best. Check out their collection today at smithandjames.com and stop by their stores at 222 Trade Street in Greer or at their new location on Verde Boulevard in Greenville.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program.
We'll see, Joe. I don't. Is there the only wrong way to do it is to not do anything.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises.
By the way, there's more time than I thought because they put a new wide orbit computer in here, and things that were normally a different color are all now black, which makes you think that they're shorter than what they are. I apologize. I'll look closer next time.
All good.
But I am almost on vacation, so I mean, don't expect a whole lot. It ain't like I don't have to work tomorrow, but that's just a bunch of craziness squeezed into 2 hours. Whereas this is sanity. That was sarcasm.
That is correct, Joe B. What they did when Brody passed, I think, was the best show that they could have possibly had.
So in the future, should I not address the stream until you address the stream? Because when I address the stream and then you do it like a couple minutes later, it sounds like you didn't listen to me, and it hurts.
Maybe I just really wanted to emphasize.
Okay, well, I mean, we could have tag teamed it when I was, is it because you didn't start it? I don't know.
No, I need to pay less attention to.
No, Roger. I get half the year. Not everyone, but I've been here a long time. It's my droning voice. You just don't hear it. I'm invisible.
Yesterday afternoon, I was driving back to the Casa de Love and got a phone call from our guy Jack, one of the P1s of the show and one of the guys in the wrestling club with us. And he said, "Dude, did you hear the news?" And I said, "What news is that?" And he said, "Bray Wyatt just passed away." Bray Wyatt was 36 years old. And for those of you that don't watch wrestling, deal with it for about 8 minutes. All right? Just relax. It's fine. Bray Wyatt was one of my favorites of the most recent generation. And while there were things I was frustrated with out of Bray Wyatt, some his fault, some not, predominantly when it came to character work and the long wait for some of his payoffs related to his gimmicks, I very much liked and enjoyed and appreciated Bray Wyatt's work as both a wrestler and as a character. I thought he was intriguing. I thought he was creative. I thought he was smart. I thought he did stuff that made you think. I can't tell you how many shows ended or started with Bray that led to me and Lonzo in the Fortress of Nerditude the next day, spending minutes upon minutes upon minutes trying to put together what the next thing was for Bray Wyatt, where he was going. What did he mean? What did he say? I very much remember in the run-up to Bray's most recent appearance, I very much remembered, Zoe, the White Rabbit quest, right? I very much remembered the whole thing about the White Rabbit and the QR codes popping up on Raw here and there very randomly, and they led to audio clues, and they led to this, and they led to that. And I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fabulous, to the point that there were shows that ended, and Zoe and I were going and watching these clips and pulling the audio clips off the websites and trying to figure, okay, is it backwards? Is it sped up, slowed down? Is it turned? Is it inverted? It was great. And from what I understand, most of this came from the mind of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, from a creative standpoint, when there was a regime change, and he was allowed to be a little more free with some of the stuff that he was doing. And I get it that some people didn't agree with all of it, but it was awesome, that whole lead up with that whole campaign. It really was. And we did spend a lot of time going, okay, what did you see the rabbit? Did you see it was really good. It really was.
It was phenomenally well done. So here's what I would say about Bray Wyatt as a creative character, as a wrestler, and as a dude. I think if there is one thing you can take away from Bray Wyatt, and I hope specifically you youngsters, because as I have pointed out many times, everything is wrestling, all right? Those of you who don't watch wrestling, you won't get it. But if you watch wrestling, wrestling is everything, and everything is wrestling. I had a guy yesterday, I sat in on BetMGM tonight last night. I did a segment with them about Shohei Ohtani and Week 0 college football. And in that conversation, it came to its conclusion. I said something. I don't honestly even remember what I said, but the video producer in the background said, man, it's just like, who was it? It's just like Billy Gunn, I think, making a reference to what's going on in AEW. Wrestling is everywhere, and everywhere is wrestling. So I don't think there is a problem from taking lessons away from wrestling, right? What did Stone Cold teach us? Sometimes you just got to give the man the double bird and Stone Cold stun him to get your way. What did Daniel Bryan teach us? Sometimes you've got to fight authority, and if you fight authority and you know you're doing the right thing, you can win. I think if I can take something away from Bray Wyatt, the person, if I can take something away from Bray Wyatt, the character, Bray Wyatt, the wrestler, Bray Wyatt, the creative mind, it'll be this. Number one, do not be afraid to do something different. Do not be afraid to try something that is outside of the box because you get told this won't work. Do not be afraid to do it different than everybody else has done it and spit in the, okay, don't literally spit in the face, but spit in the face of people who say your way cannot, will not work. I'm including myself, and that's okay. When I started doing this show 15 years ago, been in this game 15 years. When I started doing this show 15 years ago, it sounded a little different than it does today, but not much. It was loud. It was aggressive. It was goofy. It was silly. We don't take anything too seriously. And I got told, this will never work. This is never going to work. This show can't work. People don't want silly in their sports. People don't want you coming in here and goofing off for 3 hours. People don't want puns. People don't want this. They don't want that. It's never going to work. But it's game 15 years now. And while the sound of the shows that I've done have changed from time slot to time slot, station to station, city to city, at the end of the day, the show still sounds the way at its core it always has. It's fun. It's irrelevant. It is irreverent. It is goofy. It is off the wall. We don't take anything seriously except for when we do, and then we take it very seriously. And I feel like it's going okay. Not only have I been doing it 15 years, I'm now working for a major company in a major city. Lonzo has won us not one, but 2 Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Show of the Year awards. I feel like it's going all right. When Bray showed up and he started doing the goofy stuff like the Firefly Funhouse, I heard a lot of people, oh, this is dumb. This is stupid. This is crazy. Why would you do this? This is not. And then all of a sudden, he started doing stuff that caught, and it worked. And Mercy the Buzzard became somebody we talked about as much as we talked about a lot of the wrestlers on the damn roster.
By the way, I really enjoyed that whole thing because that's how I feel about certain kid shows. And I think he was on the same wavelength about maybe creeped out a little bit about it when he was a kid, and he turned it into a thing. He had many different characters. Who's your favorite Bray Wyatt character?
I will always be a cult leader Bray guy. Follow the Buzzards, man.
I remember when that was when he first came out with that, the Rise guys did a video of them walking down the hallway dressed up as
That's great.
that. It was my favorite. Is kind of weird, but it's Husky Harris. It's always going to be Husky Harris. I loved the name. I loved the character, how he came across and everything. It just, after that, everything I saw him do, I saw Husky Harris in it. And then Huskus the pig in the thing was him making fun of that whole thing. And I thought it was really good. And one of the last, I'm sure you're going to bring it up, but one of the last times that he was actually in the ring, we got to see him at the well. And I didn't realize that I really wanted to be a part of the Fireflies until I had a chance to be a part of the Fireflies and threw my phone up. Yes, I actually moved in the arena. If you were there, you saw me do it. And I was just smiling the entire time. Was it? It was a dark match too, wasn't it?
You remember who it was against?
It was against. I'm trying to come up with. It was against.
Yeah.
Was it against that guy? Yeah.
Now this was before LA Knight became the megastar, but it was against LA Knight when LA Knight was just kind of getting the heel run started, and it was a blast, man. It was fun.
There was a rumor that was going to happen, and then the lights go out, and then suddenly it's like, cool, we get to do this.
So this dude. Because when the Undertaker called it, and kind of started winding down post the loss to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, wrestling has kind of taken this turn away from over-the-top 80s gimmicks, right? Like, we don't really do that anymore. There's not really any more of those cartoon gimmicks. There's no more IRS. There's no more The Godfather. There's no more Ultimate Warrior. There's none of those guys.
I don't know if The Godfather was a comic book.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no more over-the-top stuff, right? It's kind of at a point now where it's just people. It's just people. It's larger than life, but it's just people. And Bray was like, nah, I don't accept that, man. Like, people can still enjoy a character. You got to do it the right way. And I think the run from the cult leader in the Wyatt family, which, by the way, with Brody and Eric and the rest of these guys, was incredible. Up through the Fiend. When he showed up as the first time as the Fiend, I'm like, how the hell is this going to work? He's wearing a rubber mask. This is going to be terrible. And within 3 nights, 3 appearances, I was like, oh, this is good. This guy's kind of terrifying. The feud with Randy Orton was incredible. And then, and this is where it got bad, then they started allowing other people to take over the creative direction of that character. You had the Seth Rollins feud, the dumbest Hell in a Cell match of all time. You had the run towards the end of the Fiend career when Bray had to step away. And they just nerfed that character in order to make, who was it, Goldberg go over? You know whose decision that was. So what did he do? He went away, and it came back again with an entirely new idea, and it was going well again until he got sick. Bray Wyatt was a creative genius. He was a heck of a wrestler. He was entertaining as hell, and he made wrestling fun. So the last thing that I would say to take away from Bray Wyatt, step one, be you, do you, and don't let anybody tell you not to. And step two, do not take a damn thing in your life for granted, man. My guy was 36 years old, allegedly by reports had a heart condition exacerbated by COVID that gave him a heart attack. Don't take anything for granted because you never know when it's done. R.I.P. Bray, you achieved legend status, and you were nowhere near done. Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast breaks some Carolina Panther pregame down with us next. I am Rob Brown. He's the great one. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. All right, dudes, we're going to step away for a minute and get Rashad set up. We'll be right back. So we were just in the bathroom, and I'm going to say hi to Rashad, but I got to tell this story real quick first. Our boy Stone Man was in the bathroom when we went in there, and we were having a conversation about smooth jazz fusion because we're well-rounded here at the station.
That we are in many ways.
And so I asked, I asked Stone Man. I said, "What? You know, he's British." I said, "What?" He's been talking for months about this trip. He's going to London. He's leaving this weekend, and he's been talking for months about getting to a soccer game. And I said, "What match did you decide to go to?" And he goes, "I'm going to the wrestling show at Wembley."
Yes.
We talked him into going to the AEW show at Wembley instead of a Premier League soccer match.
Oh, that's cool, though, because now we can have firsthand knowledge
Yep.
of what it was like to
Yep.
be in Wembley. So,
Rashad Beard, what's up, fella?
What's up?
How you doing, partner?
All good.
Yeah, did you get you some new gadgets yesterday?
No gadgets. No gadgets.
see, he couldn't tell us even if he did.
Very true. but no gadgets.
So Rashad, if there's a
What's up?
preseason game on, or there's a week 0 college football game that means absolutely nothing, which one are you watching?
Who's playing in week 0 for college?
Notre Dame Navy is
Yeah,
the
I'm
big
not
one
watching
at
that.
2:30.
not watching
USC San Jose State's at 8.
Wow.
Not
and
watching that.
Vanderbilt Hawaii's at 7:30.
Yeah, I'm not watching any of those, man. Give me
Thank
the
you.
NFL preseason.
Thank you. Don't you love it when Rashad and I are on the same side, which happens quite a bit. I just want to
It
point that
does.
out.
It's kind
Yeah.
of scary.
Not really. At least not on my end, but you know. It's the hair. So your hair gets longer, Rob, which you're working on it.
I am.
You will come a little more onto, our way of
It's
thinking.
true. It's very true.
Because I don't know
Yeah,
if you knew this, but long hair don't care. I know
That's
you
a
probably heard
fact.
that. Yeah.
That's a fact.
His hair's getting longer. He's got it hidden underneath that rather large hat. I mean, I need those too. So, I mean.
It's not Thursday. 1, 2. That's 2. It's not Thursday. It's Friday. And unless he is demanded by his bosses, the company he works for shall not be named because it is an off-the-record organization. We talk a little Carolina Panthers with the host of the Panther Nation podcast, your source for all the Carolina info and analysis you could possibly need. You can follow them on social media at Panther Nation PC, or, and more importantly, make sure you're subscribed to them on YouTube. Where you guys sitting on subscriber count, Rashad Beard? I know last time I saw you, it was like way north of that 20K mark.
Yeah, 21,000. So
Let's
21,000 subs. Yep.
21,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm not saying that we had a role in that, Rashad Beard. I am saying that when Lonzo and I picked up our trophy 2 weeks ago, you took your credit for it. So I'm just saying, man, I'm just saying I might take some credit. That's all.
I do. I need a replica trophy to put behind me. I need that. Let's put it in order.
Yeah,
for
me
that.
too. I would also like one of those.
Rashad Beard here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Let's jump into it, big dog. And I think at this point, last week we kind of dabbled with it a little bit. I don't think there's any way around it right now. The offensive line is not good so far in preseason. Now, it is preseason. You don't want to panic, but you've had 2 weeks. It did not get a whole heck of a lot better from week 1 to week 2. Not a great start.
Yeah, it didn't get better. I mean, it was marginally better. I see some people taking victory laps saying, oh, yeah, Bryce played well. So, it was a little bit better. I mean, he played well considering the circumstances. But, yeah, it wasn't better. It wasn't better, in my opinion. I mean, Icky is our franchise left tackle, is giving up QB hits in the preseason. And, they had an post-game interview with them. And he says, Bryce doesn't get doesn't get on us too bad, but he's a next play type of guy. And immediately in my head, I'm just hoping that Bryce Young can get to the next play because he's getting killed out here. And and again, I get the vanilla offense. I get all that. It's a preseason. You don't want to, show all your cards, but man, I don't want us, running vanilla offense in lieu of getting our quarterback killed. We've got to do something. Something's got to get better. Offensive line's got to get better. I will say this. I am happy with Chandler Zavala, who filled in at right guard, played very well considering the circumstances. Did not, practice very much. Got right in there, started, and played better than Caden Mays did last week. Or the week prior. So I'm happy with that. But outside of that, and man, Icky got to play better. He's got to play better, man. He has to.
Icky has looked to me like he's a rook, right? Like, he just looks like a rookie. It looks like there's miscommunication. There's a lack of understanding of assignment. even when the assignment gets busted, it's like he can't recover. He can't put 2 and 2 together. He looks like he did, not as a rookie, Rashad, because the back half of his rookie season, he looked like a vet. He looks like he did in training camp last year. How concerned are you, considering that's your left tackle for a QB who is, I mean, let's be real, sopping wet 200 pounds?
Yeah, left tackle that we drafted in the top 10. A heavy investment there. Like he has to be better. And I just think it could be a sophomore slump, right? There is tape on him now. We aren't as run heavy as we were, which is plays to his strengths. He is a run blocking guy. Like that's what he did at NC State. That's his strength. And so for now that we're dropping back more passes, he's got to get better, man. He just has to. And we talk about some of the awareness things. It's just unacceptable for you to, and let's just call a spade a spade. Listen, I'm a guy that I keep it real, right? Let's call it a spade a spade. When you're expecting a guy you're expecting to pass off a guy, and there's nobody there next to you. There's nobody to pass said guy to. The awareness has to be there. Like this is not high school. This is not. I mean, come on. You got to be better. The expectations are higher. Bryce Young, like you said, is 200 pounds soaking wet. We cannot afford mental lapses like that and get our quarterback killed. I get there's going to be some miscommunication issues early, but it cannot. We can't get Bryce. We got to protect him. We got to protect him. So I am concerned. I'm really concerned about this.
We're talking to Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. I kind of hate to stick with the offensive line, but you kind of have to, right? Because it's not just the O-line. It's the O-line in front of a rookie quarterback. It's the O-line in front of a rookie quarterback 2 weeks away from a week 1 game against an Atlanta Falcons team, Rashad, that if you had to pick a strength of that team, the defensive line's got to be mentioned for them. If this offensive line does not have it figured out by that week 1 contest, BY is going to be running for his damn tiny life.
Yeah. I mean, he is. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? We can hope that, hey, the run game isn't been established yet. You got Miles Sanders, who has not played a snap yet, right? So once we can establish the run game, maybe that will help out the offensive line, put a couple positive snaps together, and then it'll take some pressure off of them from a pass blocking scenarios. I hope that's the case. But yeah, we got to. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, they have to play better. We have to get some offensive consistency going. It doesn't help that guys are continuing to get injured. DJ Chark goes down. This stuff does not help one bit. So we got to get better. And I'm hopeful that when Miles Sanders returns, there'll be some consistency in the run game, and hopefully that'll help.
We're talking to Rashad Beard here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Let's talk about the other spot that can help or hurt BY, and that, of course, is going through the air. You've got DJ Chark, who's banged up. Laviska Shenault is banged up as of right now. Basically, you have Mingo, Thielen, and Hayden Hurst at the tight end spot as available healthy pass catchers this weekend. I'm almost to the point where I kind of don't want to trot BY out there for the last preseason game, not just because the O-line is a turnstile right now, but because with half of your projected targets unhealthy, not able to play this weekend, you're not even really going to get a vibe for what the week 1 offense is going to look like. I don't know how much it helps him to be out there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, if it were me, I would probably sit him too, but I kind of I get it. You've got to develop that chemistry. Thielen is still playing probably. But yeah, no DJ Chark, no Laviska Shenault. Terrace Marshall is down. So like there are 3 guys that are going to be probably huge parts of the offense when you talk about Chark and Shenault not playing. It's a bit of a problem. And this was the big concern coming into the season, right? You got DJ Chark, who is great. He is shown to be great. He's proven to be great during all of training camp when he's available, right? But he's been nothing but an injury problem his entire career, right? And it is already reared its head. It's a hamstring injury, which is probably one of the worst injuries a wide receiver can get. I've seen this with my own 2 eyes. I can recall back to David Geddes. Some people may not know who David Geddes is, but all the potential in the world for Carolina Panthers years ago. But he could not get and stay on the field because of hamstring injuries. So it's a problem, especially when you have speed guys. When speed guys get hamstring injuries, Damiere Byrd is on IR right now because of a hamstring injury. Now, and I'm not saying that it's that serious for Chark, but it's a problem. So I'm sure it's going to take a week or so for him. Hopefully it's not that serious. But this was the concern coming into the season. This is why you draft Mingo. Hopefully, the positive of going back to your question of playing Bryce Young is that they can get some chemistry going with Mingo. That's the only thing. Hopefully Mingo gets a lot of targets. There's some touchdown throws that occur here. But outside of that, there's really no benefit of playing Bryce Young today.
All right, let's flip around. Let's talk the other side of the football. Let's talk defense, because this has been Lonzo's biggest concern. Now, I've tried to soothe his concern by pointing out that
not working.
No Derek Brown, no Brian Burns. You've been missing no Houston. You've been missing the guys that I think are the primary playmakers really at all three levels. So Lonzo's very concerned about the defense. I'm not. I think if anything wins week 1 for Carolina, it'll be keeping Desmond Ridder under 10 points on the game. Just overall, where are you standing on the defense after 2 out of 3?
So I thought we were just on the same page, man. What happened?
I am. Who have they been carved up by? That's a bigger problem.
You put some respect on Zach Wilson's name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They got carved up for sure. But that said, again, no Brian Burns. Derek Brown was absolutely destroying Cass when he was playing.
All right. What was the scheme they started out with last week? What was that called again?
The old 2-7-2, baby.
Yeah, that just does.
I loved it.
I'm just concerned because of stuff like that.
No, I think once the pass rush gets there and we unleash Brian Burns, I think it's going to be a problem. I have no concerns. That's the one thing I'm not concerned about is the defense. Again, one concern could be that the health of the cornerbacks, right? Dante Jackson, his leg, his toes, his feet can't seem to stay healthy at all. So that may be a concern, but I have all the faith in the world in CJ Henderson. I know some people have jumped off the ship, but I think with this coaching staff, I think CJ Henderson is going to take a next step. So CJ Henderson, JC and Chin, come on, man. I think we're going to be fine. Von Bell and those guys, no concerns with the defense. I'm good on that. No concerns.
All right. I'm waiting to see it. I'm waiting. You're right. The entire starting defense is not out on the field, but still, I mean, just scheme wise and things, if they stick with that, and they're not, but still, if they were, that would be a problem.
Agreed. That would be a problem. But
Daniel Jones also carved them up a little.
He did. Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
They
looked
don't
great.
call him Danny Dimes for fun, Zoe. Man's a legend.
And they didn't run the foot. They just threw it every play because no pass rush, right? So they took advantage of what was there. So kudos to them, but it wouldn't happen in a regular season game.
That is correct, sir. And that is why we have Rashad Beard on the show, usually on Thursdays, but he's been out on missions the last couple of Thursdays. He's been a little busy out there keeping the world safe. So he comes back to talk football on Friday. What you got tonight, real quick?
Yeah, so we will be live streaming tonight. So come join us and watch us react to the game. And Zoe, I put in a request for some new music, man. Come on, bro. I need some new theme music, man.
Yo, look, he found last week. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Rashad. He found like some James Bond trap beats that were out of this world, dude. Out of this world.
They were good. I just haven't recorded them yet. And you can send me a thing and say, hey, I want this as my theme music.
I'm not
and
asking him. It's James Bond trap beats forever.
And I will
That's
play
just
it.
what it is
so
now.
if you had to pick between James Bond and Mission Impossible, though, I mean, which way are you going?
I'll roll with the James Bond trap beats. I'm with that. Let's dry run it next week and see how it goes. Right. But I'm for that.
All right, we'll do that.
I like it.
The trap beats was a little too smooth, though. I mean, a little too slow for me. I want some more energy. All right, we'll do it.
That's Rashad Beard. The Panther Nation podcast will be live tonight before, during, after, maybe like well into the night. We'll see. On YouTube at Panther Nation Podcast. Make sure you follow Rashad on Twitter as well at Panther Nation PC. Appreciate you, big fella.
Absolutely, man. See you guys next week.
Yeah, you will.
Great.
Yeah, you will. Rashad Beard, secret agent, Panther extraordinaire. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Appreciate you, big dog.
All right, guys.
See you, buddy.
Why you got to ruin the trap beat thing? Because I was gonna shock
that gonna
him
be a
with it.
surprise?
Yeah, it was going to be, and now
Oh.
you just. I mean, what are you doing?
Still be a surprise. He'll forget.
No, he won't. Actually, I won't be here next week, so.
That's true. I gotta play it.
Or I could tell Tim to do it.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's NUTRAFOL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates.
That is true, Keegan. That is true.
So while other companies might
Although I was overruled. Did you see that? Rob's like, I listened, but he's like, no, you got to do that. There's also this thing where I'm a little concerned about, being flagged for playing. Sorry, new Borderlands commercials.
Borderlands is always buying comics, toys, games, and collectibles. No one pays more, and they'll treat you and your items with respect. Borderlands, comics and games. 410 South Pleasantburg Drive.
I've already taken a risk by playing a couple things that I've played, and we'll see if we get flagged or not.
Just another number. Join Founders and receive the personalized attention you deserve, along with great rates, loans for any reason, and a dynamic online experience. Visit one of their 41 convenient office locations or visit foundersfcu.com to see if you qualify for membership. Relax. Go Rebels.
Sinking Foundation can cause you to make quick decisions that could be wrong. Travis Bedson, owner of CNT Foundations.
Many of our clients come to us after a bad experience with another company. From high pressure sales.
So I just saw this interview with Dolph Ziggler. The guy interviewing said, "You've been in the game 19 years. What are you most proud of?" And he said 3 things. The fact that I can be placed into any match, and even though I'm not going to win because I lose 90% of the time, it's going to be entertaining. The fact that I'm rich. And the fact that I'm not a douchebag. Those were his 3 things that he was most proud of. And I respect that.
I don't know.
list.
Can you declare yourself not something like that? I mean, if you are one of those, do you know it?
No. That's the whole thing about being a Delta Bravo.
Okay. I'm just saying.
But you can know that you're not one.
All right. I don't believe that I am one of those, but I believe I can be on occasion because everyone can be.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks Dayquil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just 1 dose of Vicks Dayquil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms.
All right, so I'm gonna be so my email that I sent earlier, the boss agreed with, has now made it an edict. So now I will only be concerned with 2 shows. We'll see how things are if people actually do what they're supposed to do.
I have not seen that yet, Keegan, but I'm absolutely going to watch it afterwards. That's tragic. And for the record, exactly what I said. No video game song has ever gone harder than the GoldenEye pop music song.
But that's also it's a generation thing. So for you guys, that was the thing for you. I listened to it, and it's just another James Bond thing.
I can't
because the game means more to you, and it's generational. You guys are about the same age.
The game, that song just goes hard.
Okay, all right. We listened to that song, and the trap stuff was better. Come on, you mentioned the trap stuff. That trap stuff was good. I saw the clip, Keegan. It was. You trying to do old school beatbox? Is that what you're trying to do with it? Yeah. Back when it first began, before you were born. You don't know old school. You wasn't there.
Because I'm an old fool who's so cool. If you want to get down, I'm going to show you the way. Whoop. There it is.
Gable's in the first break. And that it kind of went along with what he was doing. Way, break. It can rhyme and rap. We've had these discussions before.
Our numerados of the Rob Brown Show goes now, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Fan Upstate. Howdy, y'all. Welcome in. How's everybody? Y'all doing all right? I hope so.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get these in as much as I can because I'm not going to be here next week. And
Gotta use the quota.
Yeah, I don't know if how Tim will do with it, because it's
Gotta hit that quota.
if you're not a wrestling guy, maybe you don't get it. I love that the person in question on the stream in last hour did point out that he did yell that in the hallway. So when I said I heard it through the walls, I did. That's how loud it was. So there is someone in this building who's just as loud as Rob Brown.
There is. He was on this stream earlier, as a matter of fact. I walked in the bathroom. He was in there. We both went, yeah, while Stone Man was trying to, do his business.
Yeah, he deserved it. And if you scared the mess out of him, that's okay.
I mean, that's what he was there for.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get to some football as we get set for week 0 action. I'm going to give you some lines and plays to open up the next hour of the show. But we are now, my friends, a week and a day away from week 1 action for the Gamecocks of South Carolina, as on next Saturday, the 2nd, they'll be kicking off against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. That game will be taking place up at Bank of America Stadium. And then, of course, 2 days later, on Monday evening, we will all be settled in, ready for week 1 as the Duke Blue Devils and the Clemson Tigers get it all underway. And by the way, the new 75-inch will be installed for those games. Yes!
You're gonna make me have to call engineering again because what you just did, you're gonna break the
Good. I actually need to talk to them. I need my burn stuff. I haven't got my burn stuff yet. Poor Chris doesn't know what's coming to him when the show's over.
Yeah, if you can find him. Because he's busy. He's really busy.
He really is. He's a busy guy.
I don't know if I'm going to be hyped and excited about that Clemson game, but I am going to watch it. I will, because it's work, I will endure the orange for a couple hours.
Give me a line on that game, Lonzo. What's the line on that game? What do you think? Clemson by
12.
12. Okay. I was going to say 9.5. It's week 1. It's a little early.
Come on.
It's week 1 with a new offense, a new head coach.
Come on. It's ACC football. The king of ACC is Clemson. Clemson is ACC. Why would they not get a big line like that?
Let's see. It is right now on the money line, which is a straight up win. Clemson minus 450. You're all over it, Lonzo. You're all over it. Our friends at BetMGM have it at minus 13, FanDuel minus 12.5. The line sits, the best line I have found right now is minus 11.5. I am seeing it as high as minus 13.
So you can talk up the Blue Devils all you want. Ain't nobody buying it.
That's fine.
Although in years past, this line would have been a whole lot more than what it is.
Oh,
right
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I got to tell you, Duke being within a 2-score game says they're pointed in the right direction. Or Clemson's not. I don't know. What do you think? All of that being said, let's get to some stuff, shall we? And let's start with their Clemson Tigers as they get set to take on the Blue Devils of Duke. a week from Monday, y'all. You understand how difficult you're going to make it to try to do an entire segment about the Clemson Tigers and not say Clemson Tigers?
I have managed to make it to where you don't say it nearly as much as you used to. By design.
Of course, you still want me to say South Carolina Gamecocks all the time. But not Clemson Tigers.
Because them Gamecocks, that's a special sound. But, you know, the thing is, when you hear that, you want to be in fake Death Valley. You want to be doing that C-A-L-E, what M, P-Z, O. Let's turn on our hands and it'll help our heads remember. And that's it. Go! Daggum Tigers, where'd you go? Let's go. Going up with the yeah! Cool. You're welcome, Clemson fans, because I know you are pumped and ready to go now. You just threw your arm out the window and pumped it.
So let's talk about Dabo's team. Let's talk about the fighting Tiger Paws. No, I said it. I said the T word. Let's talk Clemson. All right.
By the way, I hope other stations and other shows are really annoyed by that. I don't know why they would be, because it's a rallying cry. All right, I'm stopping.
Scott Kiefer covers Clemson for the Greenville News, and he did a little sit down with Cade Klubnik the other day, and they talked a little bit about what it's going to take, what Cade thinks that Clemson can do in order to pump it up, that, of course, being the Clemson offense. Cade had a few ideas. Kiefer says the first thing that he said, lean on Will Shipley, lean on Phil Maffa. And let me just say, Cade Klubnik has never said anything more accurately in his life. Will Shipley and Phil Maffa might be the best 1-2 running back duo in America this year. Might be the most talented 1-2 punch in the backfield of anybody in the country.
You know, I keep joking about handing the ball off. It's kind of a joke, but if you got a backfield like that, you're going to want to do that quite a bit.
Joey B, I'm not saying you got to tell us a story. But Joey B just popped in the stream and said, Clemson has to go to the fortress that is Wallace Wade Stadium, the only college football stadium I've ever laid down and taken a nap in. Tequila was hitting hard that morning, eh, Joey B?
That wasn't you. It's Duke, so that's,
Yeah, I get it.
I hear they're kind of. No, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Joe.
No, I know.
Okay, all right.
And you were calling Duke nerds, which I respect.
They're pretty smart up there, I hear.
So, he says, number one, lean on Shipley, lean on Maffa. And the answer to that is yes. Cade said, quote, we have the two best running backs in the country, and I think everybody knows what they can do. Explosive plays can happen right there with these two. A simple inside zone can turn into an 80-yard touchdown real quick. That's the first explosive play in my mind. Dude could not be more spot on. If Clemson does, I've been saying this about Will Shipley all off season. I was saying this about Will Shipley all last season. This dude needs to be your game changer. He needs to be your cheat code. Whenever you press the Ask Madden button, it should go immediately to Will Shipley. And I'm not just saying hand it ISO off guard every time. I'm saying work him into the pass game. Run some outside jets. Run some sweep tosses. Run some counters. Use this dude in every aspect of the offense. Not the run game, not the pass game, the offense as a whole. And then there's Phil Maffa. You guys have seen what Maffa can do, and you guys have seen what Maffa can do, especially when you've got to keep track of both of those guys. Cade Klubnik also said that one thing he is looking forward to is big play potential out of his receivers. Primarily, he wants to see a bunch of yak daddies. He said yards after catch has to be a priority. Quote, we've got guys that can make plays after the catch and after first contact. It doesn't always have to be a big shot. Guys make plays after the catch and making guys miss and breaking tackles. I've got confidence in just taking what the defense gives us. Taking what the defense gives you works primarily if you do have yak daddies out wide. If you do have cats out wide that can make big plays for you, you've got to take advantage of that. The big question here is, do they and can they, right? If you go look at just about every single preseason magazine and breakdown and all that, they all say the same thing. Clemson's wide receivers are the question mark. Cade Klubnik might have all-American quality. He might be that talent, but does he have guys running routes out wide that are capable of not just making the snag, but making the snag and making the yak afterwards? If the answer is yes, this offense is going to go back to looking like it did in the mid to late 2010s. If the answer is no, it could be problematic.
I'm going to be curious to see how Clemson fans react after all the hype over the new offensive coordinator. If they come out and they're just handing the ball off right and left. If it ends up being victories, which it's going to be, especially against Duke, will that quell any problems or any gripes that they may have about the offense looking too simple? Because if you have a running back core like what you're talking about that runs the ball really well and they're successful and the offensive line blocks for them good, you don't need to throw the ball as much. But then that offense that they've complained about, we need to get rid of this offensive coordinator. You bring in this new guy and he's supposedly going to make everything better. If they're just handing the ball off, are you going to be able to tell that they've made it better?
Well, let's start with this. You're going to be happy if you're Clemson, if you're scoring points. You're not really going to care how it gets stuck in the end zone as long as it gets stuck in the end zone. But
unless you're calling into the Dabo show going, Dabo, we need to use tight ends a little bit better. I've noticed that they're going unused, and we know that they're a weapon and a threat. Could you please address why we're not using the tight ends?
You enunciated weapon too well.
I apologize.
You said it in 2 syllables and got every vowel correct.
I'll work on it.
Do better. So, Garrett Riley, your new offensive coordinator, when I spoke to him at Clemson's media day a number of weeks ago, and we started talking about the spread. We started talking about the wide open. He made it abundantly clear he's got no interest in being a throw it 85% of the time kind of offense. He's like, we are going to be balanced. We are going to lean on the run. In fact, he specifically pointed out to me that he's got too much talent at the running back spot not to be a balanced offense. He said, look, if we aren't taking advantage of Shipley, of Maffa, of Dominique, a.k.a. Quadzilla, said if we're not taking advantage of these guys, we are doing ourselves a disservice. If we're not taking advantage of the talent we have in the running back room by running the football, that's on us. That's a mistake. We are going to be a balanced offense. So the thing I would say is even against Duke, maybe especially against Duke, don't expect this team to come out that Monday night against the Blue Devils and throw it 55 times, right? Legit, I think you're looking at, 20 passes, 25 runs, somewhere in that ballpark. And Garrett Riley's been very clear. So unless he was just bold-faced lying, the other angle, especially true in the beginning of the regular season, is while Cade has seen time, Cade has not seen time as this is your team, the keys are in your hand quarterback of this franchise, of this program. And so since this is game number 1 of it's your ball, right? It's your car, drive it how you see fit. You don't want to put all the pressure on him by asking him to throw it 30 times, 35 times, 40 times. You want him to be able to work into game speed. In fact, I would take the guess that the first 2 to 3 series against Duke, I'm not going to say you won't, but you should not see any 25, 30, 35, 40-yard bombs out of Cade Klubnik. Run the ball, hit the underneath patterns, let him see the game develop in front of him, and go from there. All right, what else did Cade Klubnik say? He did say, in direct contrarianism to what I just stated I expect out of week one, he said that this offense needs to find the deep ball. Clemson's vertical game in 2022 ranked 68th in number of pass plays of 20-plus yards. But Cade said he expects that to change. Now, we knew what Garrett Riley did at TCU. Riley's Horned Frogs led the nation with 22 plays of 50 yards or more. 15 of those were pass plays. Clemson had only 3 such pass plays last season. The Horned Frogs offense also produced the nation-leading 5 pass plays of 70 yards or more. You do have deep ball threats on the outside. Bo Collins is one. Cole Turner is one. Collins averaged 17 yards per reception last season. Turner did not get a lot of PT. I think he started in 3 games last year. But these two cats both averaged up over 17 yards. Turner averaged 20.1 yards on his 8 receptions, including a team-best 68-yard haul. Klubnik said he is absolutely planning on this offense not being afraid to go deep. Scott Kiefer posted that on the Greenville News. It is on Yahoo Sports if you want to take a look at Cade comments as well. But I think he's spot on. I think the 3 things he's leaning on are the 3 things that plagued Clemson last year and the 3 things that they need to work on this year. Step 1, Shipley and Maffa need to be the focus, especially early in the year. Make defenses recognize you can't just drop 7 deep because you think it's all Cade Klubnik. You're going to have to stop the run because we are going to run a lot. Number 2, Yak Daddies. Got to find them. Got to develop them. Got to figure out who's the guy. Because with the run game comes a lot of quick passes, right? With the play action, with having linebackers and cornerbacks playing up to deny the run, you've got to have quick passes underneath to keep them back, to keep them in the middle of the field and not aggressively pursuing up the field, which means I need guys to catch, break a tackle, and pick up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. And on top of that, the deep ball's got to stay a genuine threat. If you cannot connect on a few deep balls, that run offense suddenly becomes worthless. Because if I believe I can cover up your receivers man to man because you don't have the touch for the deep ball, I'm just bringing extra dudes, dude. I'm just bringing more guys. And if I can bring more guys, the job gets harder for Will Shipley. The job gets harder for Phil Maffa, and that leads to problems. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, we'll take a look over at South Carolina. Saturday Down South posted an article where they came up with about 10 different predictions for the South Carolina Gamecocks season. I'm going to give those predictions to the great one, Lonzo, and we're going to see if those predictions are genuine predictions, if they are realistic, or if they are optimistic. We'll do that when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. That's Lonzo, the sheriff of sports talk. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's the state. All right, guys, live read right here. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
One of the guys on the team doing it. And Eminem shared it.
Yeah, I heard he gave him a shout out for it.
Apparently he liked it.
I'm Ryan Horvath. Bet smarter and beat the books with BetQL and download the BetMGM app today.
You've been putting back a few. And a few becomes a few too
So
many.
when you put a cone out like that, does that mean no one can park on either of those spaces?
What's the worst that could happen?
There's another cone out?
Yeah, well, this is legitimate. Someone's in the building working on something, you can see it from there. You should just be able to turn left.
They're looking for impaired drivers.
Turn to your left and you can see
So
it.
if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again.
You really couldn't see it from there?
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always
Oh,
wanted to
yeah.
know? Too hard.
Well, they're actually working. So I'm going to give them credit because they're in the building working, which is why.
Right, but why not just do them? Well, I guess since it's
Because of,
spaces
yeah.
are kinda other.
Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks. Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing there? Staring at the ceiling.
Oh, hi, Jen. Come check out the energy-efficient lighting I just had installed for my business. It's saving me a ton on my electric bills. Plus, Duke Energy Smart Path paid for almost 75% of the total cost.
Wow, that's amazing. How'd you
I don't know, let's go over the edge there, person.
Just look up Duke Energy Smart Path program. Duke Energy can help cover the
I
cost
wanna
of
do that.
energy-efficient upgrades for your business. Visit duke-energy.com/smartpath today.
Sponsored by Tire Rack. Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
Hey, football fans, this is Cole Bryson. Are you ready for the ultimate adrenaline-packed high school football experience? Tune into the Fan Upstate every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Saturday Morning Scramble. You'll get the latest scores, insight, and exclusive interviews with star athletes and coaches. Plus, I'll be broadcasting live from your local Ingles Market all season. The Saturday Morning Scramble only on the Fan Upstate 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, and on your phone on the Odyssey app.
Powered by Founders Federal Credit Union. Listen on the Odyssey app. Search the Fan Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show carries on. It is the Fan Upstate. We talked a little Clemson ball in the last segment. Let's talk a little Gamecock ball here. We'll talk a little high school ball in the next segment. Then we'll talk a little week 1, scratch that, week 0 ball in the opening segment of the 11 o'clock hour. And then who the hell knows what we'll talk about for the rest of the show. Yesterday, I came across an article. What is wrong with me right now? Yesterday, I came across an article on SaturdayDownSouth.com. It is entitled South Carolina Football 10 Bold Predictions for the Gamecocks in 2023. And I read through them and found them kind of interesting. So I want to read these predictions from SDS. And I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to ask the great one, are these predictions optimistic, realistic, or just straight up not going to happen? Yeehaw. So let's take a look at it. Number 1. Spencer By the way, there's a debate going on right now. And this is directly connected. I'm not taking
Why are you pointing at me? Why are you looking at me?
Because I'm interested in your thoughts here. Who's the starting quarterback for the Gamecocks this year?
Spencer Rattler.
Okay. We had Shane Beamer on, friend of the show, Shane Beamer, a couple of months ago. And when talking about him, he pronounced it Spencer Rattler.
He did.
Right?
He did.
And I was I was like, I didn't say anything about it, but I was like, there is an interview that just got put on social media involving the Gamecock quarterback in which he pronounces his own last name, Rattler.
Wow.
So the debate going on right now is,
if you have a Southern accent, it don't matter. It's going to sound the same no matter how you say it. So you're
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, Rattler.
But see, even that's not correct. It's Rattler.
No, I just said it Rattler, but in a Southern accent, it sounds the same. So you're all good.
So for everybody who's not that,
yeah,
this is interesting because
so
it's either
Lawrence County, Pickens County, a couple other counties, you're good.
Shano calls him Spencer Rattler. We have all been saying Spencer Rattler. Now there is an interview out there where Spencer Rattler pronounces it Rattler. And so the question is, was Shane right and we were all wrong? And it's always been Spencer Rattler, and Spence just hasn't said anything about it? Or is Spence changing the pronunciation of his last name to make Shane correct and the rest of us wrong? Like how did this all play out?
Wow, that's next level.
Yeah.
I heard my coach say it this way, so I'm going to change the pronunciation of my name to make my coach right.
Look, we all knew that guy. We all had that guy on our team that the longer he played for a head coach, the more of his head coach's mannerisms he took on, right? Like the longer you play. My high school head football coach, Bobby Moore, had all these Moorisms that he would say.
Did he have any morons?
And you could tell who his guys were because all the things Bobby Moore used to say, his biggest, best football players would repeat them all the time.
So he did have morons.
Yeah. So is it Spencer Rattler, and we've all been wrong, and Spence was just too nice a guy to correct us? Or is it Spencer Rattler, but Spencer Rattler is trying to make his coach look better?
Don't you kind of believe that this is
a debate, huh?
That this is another thing that department that they have over there that cooks up all the cool videos and things, that this is something they came up with, and that just to confuse all the people who are calling the games so they don't know how to do it right?
I got to tell you, if I'm the play-by-play guy right now, I'm not going on the air until I talk to him and go, how do you say your name? Right? I do that every team that I play for. If there is a name that shows up that I don't know how to pronounce, just about every week, I am in touch with the athletic director and or head football coach at the schools Burns is going to play. To get permission to come to their school and broadcast, like we will be tonight when Burns takes on Chapman, pregame at 7, kickoff at 7:30. I will go, hey, number 67, how do you pronounce that last name? Just so I have it right. I don't want to be disrespectful.
See, I don't recall from last year from any of the broadcasts if they even say Spencer Rattler or Rattler. I think they say Spencer.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those names where there's only like one playing in college football probably, so you can get away with just saying the first name.
I mean, you still got to introduce him. When you go starting lineup, you don't go at wide receiver, Xavier Legette, at tight end, at tackle, and then at quarterback, Spencer. Anyway, it's a pretty ridiculous conversation that I am 100% jumping into the middle of.
But yeah, I absolutely did notice him say that.
Yeah.
And we put it on our Star Award.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's that too.
Yep.
What would eventually be our Star Award. But when he said it was just like, okay, maybe that's how you say it. Did you give it a thought when he said it that way, or did you think he just said it wrong?
It just stood out to me.
It did stand out.
It just jumped out. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Anyway, Spencer threw for 3,026 yards last year, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Prediction from Saturday Down South: Rattler will either pass or be in the range of the record for the season yards mark of 3,564, completion percentage of 67.5, and completions 270, as well as attempts 451. He also has a shot at individual game totals for completions 35 and attempts 59. So
are these South Carolina records?
These are all
SC?
school records.
Oh, school records.
School records.
So he would be breaking the records of who? Do you know? Is it Connor Shaw?
They're all for different. I'm assuming everyone or
okay.
Yeah.
Because I think
So
Connor Shaw had a bunch of those records.
Prediction from Saturday night. The prediction from Saturday Down South starting next Saturday night, is that Spence will either pass or be very close to school records for season yards, completion percentage, completions and attempts, completions in an individual game, and attempts in an individual game. Realistic, optimistic, or pessimistic, Lonzo?
See, can you be realistic and optimistic at the same time? I think for sure that it's realistic. I'm gonna go with realistic.
Okay.
He can do that. He has the capabilities. He had all the hype coming into when he first came to college football. He's got all the hype now. He showed hints of it near the end of the season. So definitely the possibility is there. And you already talked about he had pretty good completion percentage last year. So
I am going to go with this is a realistic probability. A realistic probability. I absolutely think it can happen. I think that it will take Spence being the Spence he was the last two.
He's also going to need some help. The receivers actually have to catch the balls.
It's going to be up to Leggett. It's going to be up to McDowell. It's going to be up to Juice. It's going to be up to those guys. I don't disagree, but we'll see. Here's the second prediction. The third year of coaches at South Carolina have been hit or miss. Joe Morrison in his third year was 10-2 in 84. He had 15 wins over 2 years. He then fell to 5-6 in year 3. Steve Spurrier won 15 games over his first 2 years. Year 3, he was 6-6 after winning 9 in the year before that. Will Muschamp, 15 wins in his first 2 years. In year 3, he was 7-6 coming off of a 9-year season. So does Shane Beamer have the same curse that Will, Steve, and Joe Morrison did, that year 3 is a bust year? Optimistic, pessimistic, realistic.
So a 9-win would be a
No.
Okay, all right.
The
He
last
came
two
off of a
coaches
9. All right, I get it.
Had 9 wins in year 2 and then ended up at 6-6 and 7-6 in year 3 between Steve-O and Will Muschamp.
Well, if you look at the past, although that's just 3 coaches out of a ton of other coaches that could have been thrown in there, I'm going to go with it's realistic that they're going to have a better. So rephrase the question for me. Make it simple.
Shane Beamer sucks in year 3. Yes or no?
No, he does not. There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So there you go.
Well, you didn't answer it. Do you think it's realistic or optimistic?
I absolutely think it's possible. Yeah. I've said a number of times.
It's possible that he sucks, or it's possible that
it's a bust year.
Okay. All right. All right.
I have said, and not just me, a lot of people have said, I can see this team being 6-6. I can see this team being 10-2. I have picked 8-4 primarily because I'm splitting the difference. But I could absolutely see this team being 6-6. And I'm going to call the shot that if this team is 6-6, that is going to be a bust and a massive disappointment. I don't think anybody is going to accept Shane Beamer taking a step backwards.
Yeah, he definitely does not need to take a step back. I think a lot of people are hyped, especially Gamecock fans, thinking it's going to do better this year than they did last year.
Here's one more, and then we got to take a break because we got the fellas from the Moving the Chain podcast in the green room. They're ready to come on next segment and talk some high school ball.
That room's not green. It looks white.
Antoine Juice Wells had a banner year last year after he transferred in from James Madison and became one of Spencer Rattler's favorite targets. He was an all-SEC honors player with 68 grabs for 928 yards and 6 touchdowns. The prediction from Saturday down south. Good Lord, slow down, Rob. Juice Wells sets a program record for receptions and yardage this season for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Both of those marks are currently held by Alshon Jeffrey. Wells also has a great shot to break the single game reception record of 14, also held by Alshon Jeffrey. So the prediction here, Juice Wells has a season where he sets program records for receptions and yardage in a season for the Gamecocks this year.
All right, so if you believe it, Spencer Rattler, I'm just going to do it that way so you can't tell if I'm doing it right or not, is going to have that kind of season, he's going to have some receivers that catch the ball. And so I'm going to say it's realistic. The optimistic thing means that people think that there's no chance. There's absolutely a chance.
I do think it is an optimistic prediction. I absolutely think it is an optimistic prediction. I'd love for it to happen, but it is going to take some breakout from other guys. It is going to take some breakout from Xavier Legette, from Eddie Lewis. It's going to take some breakout from other guys to basically eat up coverage so that Juice can do his thing. And as of right now, I think Legette has been that guy. I'm interested to see what Nicholas Harbor is capable of doing. I just don't know if there is enough other talent on the outside to open up the field for Juice for him to threaten Alshon's numbers. So there's some thoughts for you. Realistic, pessimistic, optimistic. I want your thoughts. Let's take a break. When we come back, Kevin Thomas, John Epps from the Moving the Chains podcast will join us, and we'll talk high school ball coming up next on the Rob Brown Show. It is the Fan Upstate. All right, guys, we will be right back with Kevin and John. Don't go anywhere. What's up, fellas?
You told me I'd do my job, Rob Brown.
How we doing, boys? Y'all good? Oh, wait, I actually have to add him to the stream. Now, there we go.
Hello.
What's up, boys?
Hey, man.
How's it going?
I ditched the chandelier. I hope you're happy now.
You sure did. Look at you.
I like the chandelier. I thought it was a good look.
Look like you're broadcasting live from your dorm room in 2007.
The chandelier's probably going to be back next week, so we'll see.
Johnny boy, how you been, big dog? Good on you to click the join link this time, man.
Well, it's pre-hidden when you're on your cell phone. The computer gives you the whole view.
Remember last week when Kevin was by himself?
Yeah.
Because John was sitting there in the phone with his hand with the enter studio button, and he never pushed it. He was just staring at his phone, wondering when he was coming on.
Driving through downtown Columbia, trying not to run out of gas.
Well, then you had bigger priorities, fella.
Yeah, it was.
Did you put him up there by himself on purpose?
Nope.
Okay,
we're just it's the John Epps show.
You know what? Yeah, I didn't even have. I've got a different mouse, so I know it wasn't me. Now I'm not.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast. I need Indeed. Indeed, you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75.
So we've heard reports that some teams are moving up their games to 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're worried about that heat. That 30 minutes is going to save them.
Yeah, I mean, that massive 20-degree temperature drop
Listen,
that happens every night.
My man, jokes aside, last week up in Charlotte, the temperature difference from 7 to 8 was about 17 degrees.
Yeah, you're higher elevation.
It was
Though.
dramatic.
You're in a higher elevation.
Charlotte's not higher elevation.
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
Absolutely is.
Charlotte is 673 feet above sea level.
Lower.
Greenville's 984. It's a lower elevation than Greenville.
Wow, I was wrong. I don't really care, but okay. These are the arguments we have every single day, not only here, but in the office.
Yep.
And Rob does not always win. I just want you to know that.
Rob, I can't believe you didn't tell us about this Segura kid before last week.
Dude, I didn't know about this Segura kid.
I don't think anybody did.
I walked in and Sam Clark walks up before the game starts. And I was asking because on the unofficial depth chart that we got, RJ Livingston was not listed at running back. And I was like, well, that's weird because he carried that a lot last year after some of the injuries. And Sam goes, 21 Trey Segura, watch him. And I was like, for real? He goes, dude's a dude. Apparently, he was at some camp this offseason. The kid's a freshman. He was at some camp this season, and Sam said that one of the Auburn coaches walked up to him and was like, we'll see him on campus. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It is Friday night. We're just a few hours from going under the lights in week one, even though we had some games last week. It's week one, so it wasn't week, it was week 0. All right, whatever. We're just a little while away from high school football, and that means we bring in the fellas from the Moving the Chains podcast. We are joined now, as we will be throughout the season, by Kevin Thomas, by John Epps. You can find their stuff at movingchains.com or picking up their podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. What's up, fellas? How we doing? Happy Friday, boys.
Happy Friday to you, Rob, man. Excited for a full slate of action tonight. Got a little taste last week, but now everybody is kicking off tonight for sure.
Kev, I got to tell you, buddy, that sound equipment you're using sounds great, man. So, like, what kind of professional came in to help you set that up? Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I had the Geek Squad come in, but no, actually, it was my personal Geek Squad, a.k.a. Rob Brown, helped me out. Yeah.
I was going to be offended, but it's very fitting. Yup. John Epps, good to have you, buddy. I'm glad you were able to figure out the enter button this week.
I have the whole computer now today where, boomers like me, I can't rely on a phone. Technology is getting harder and harder for me.
Yeah, I get it. The button's only half the screen in blue, but I respect it. I get it. Boys, let's jump right in, fellas, and let's start with my game, our game, the game. Burns on the road at Chapman. Chapman last week put up 57 over Woodruff. Coleman Gray, 12 of 16 for 206, ran for 90 as well. But the Rebs up in Charlotte got a 24-9 win over Huff. And Trey Segura announced himself with a pair of touchdowns, one on the ground, one through the air on a beautiful little tunnel screen. This one, man, I'm intrigued. Chapman can put up points, but Burns can just control the clock if they want to.
I'd say what, Rob, I was most impressed with that Burns defense last week. Those boys were flying around, just speed everywhere with Bomar and Weaver and Livingston and on and on and on. Defense side of the ball looked great. They're going to need it tonight against Chapman. I do think they've got a little more depth, a little more talent than what the Panthers have. I think the Burns offense does a little bit more than they did last week as well. I think Segura continues to get better. Stevens looked good last week, I felt like, and kind of, what they asked him to do there. I think the Rebels win this one by a couple scores, but always a fun matchup when those two kind of Spartanburg County rivals get together.
Yeah, I echo exactly what Kevin said. Last year, the little bit of a thorn for the Rebels was the defense. The offense was very good, but the defense sometimes was a little bit lacking. Great to see them play a high-quality opponent out of North Carolina and play so good. I expect Burns to
Alexa, turn off! Alexa, turn off!
That happens about once a month.
There's Boomer John, y'all. Technology's just kicking his ass every single week. No, I think you're spot on. And defensively, you know, again, you mentioned Bomar and Weaver, two guys that are kind of known for speed on offense, but came up with a tandem pick last week on a tip drill INT pick 6. And I got to tell you, the linebacking core, man, James Oates, RJ Livingston, they were laying the lumber last week, which is good because with Gray going, I mean, a 90-yard runner last week, they're going to need somebody to keep contain on that cat, man.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, Rob, I saw the highlight of the play talking with Bomar and Weaver there, and I actually listened to the radio broadcast when you called that one. I thought you were about to fall out of your chair when that play happened.
Oh, I was.
I was. Really special play there. And this defense is going to get better and better. I mean, they still got a bunch of young guys over there. They will continue to grow. This will be a good test for them early in the season.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other ones going on. Riverside and JL Man, another couple of undefeated teams with week 0 wins. Riverside went with a big one, 49-7 over TR. On the flip side, JL Man also scored 49, but they blanked Eastside. Ethan Anderson, 14 of 19, 320. And I mean, I expect more than 6 touchdowns. You know, that's kind of didn't show out the way I'd want him to. Break this one down for me real quick.
You know, this is a game that last year, going into it, very similar lead up. Both teams had scored, I think, 40-plus, 50-plus in week 0. They matched up week 1. We thought high scoring shootout, here it comes. Final was 14-7. So I don't really know what to make of it this year. Similar type thing. Both teams scored a ton. I think JL Man's a little bit better, a few more weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Riverside does have a defensive lineman, Marcus Downs, going to Georgia Tech. He's a must-watch player. He's a stud there. But I love what Skinner does, love what Anderson does. I think JL Man wins this one probably by a couple scores.
I think so too. I like JL Man in this game, mainly because of quarterback Ethan Anderson. We saw flashes of this brilliance last year too. The whole Patriots team just wasn't super consistent. Just like Kevin said, you know, they light up the scoreboard one week, and then the next week they struggle to get in the end zone. I think the Patriots, this is a big game for them. I think if they can really dominate this game tonight, you can really have some high hopes on the JL Man squad this year. Now, of course, Riverside, if they can pull off what Kevin and I think might be an upset, look out for those boys the rest of the year too.
Let's take a look at some of the other ones going on here, fellas. Let's go Spartanburg at Dutch Fort. Kev.
Two teams that are 0-1, but they played really high-level opponents last week. Dutch Fort breaking in a new quarterback. Their quarterback got hurt last week, but I think them at home, Silver Foxes probably win in a close one.
Yeah, I think Spartanburg is going to come up short tonight. They're having the whiteout down there at Dutch Fork or down in Irmo for that ball game. They're going to be pumped up for a big SC opponent. I think Spartanburg will be just fine this year. Really like what Coach Hodge is doing over there for the Vikings. They lose this game, but they're going to be pretty good this year.
Greer at Hillcrest.
Rams are for real. They're kind of getting slept on right now with the new coach and new quarterback, but they still got Avery McFadden. They got Caleb Sutton, a dynamic guy there. Bennett Swiggert's got them rolling there at the head coaching role. I think the Rams are for real. They roll this ball game.
I think so too, but the bright spot for the Greer Yellow Jackets, running back LaDainian Martin. He is a very, very special player. Certainly worth going to watch if you're ever here in the Simpsonville area.
So give me a pick, John.
Oh, Hillcrest is
going
to win this game by a few.
Greenville at TL Hanna.
Greenville knocked off a 5A squad last week in Dorman. They've got a good chance to do it again over TL Hanna. You know, that wing T, triple option, whatever you want to call it, it's always tough. But I think Greenville has a few too many athletes. I'm interested to see what they're doing. You know, they're actually rotating quarterbacks right now. The Red Raiders are, which is kind of surprising to me. But we know about Mazio Bennett and Jay Sherman, Blake Franks, et cetera, et cetera. I think Greenville wins this one on the road.
John, my phone blew up when Dorman and Gaffney both took L's last weekend. My phone was killing me on the drive home.
You know, I know Greenville's good. We knew Greenville was going to be good. I didn't think they were going to beat Dorman last week. So that makes this game really interesting for me. I would typically pick Hanna because they're big. They shove on the line of scrimmage. You're not going to be able to do that against this Red Raider team. They're just as big, just as mean and tough as they are. I think Greenville pulls off the upset in Anderson tonight.
Dude, if Greenville goes back-to-back big-time upsets, how big is that for that program?
You know, they've been right on the doorstep the last couple of years, you know, playing for the Upper State Final or at least third round of the playoffs. They've got all the talent in the world, just hadn't seemed to be able to get over that hump. You know, and Coach Porter always schedules really tough to start the season in the non-region. It's going to pay off for them in the postseason for sure.
Bowling Springs is at Malden and Easley at Daniel. Which one of those jumps out at you?
Honestly, neither one is a huge ball game. Daniel looked good reloading last week. Bowling Springs, I think, is better under year 2 under Coach Real. But 2, I think that's 4 probably middle of the road programs, but nobody, that's a stud out there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see in that game. Malden always has athletes on the field. Whether they can put it all together is the question. And then for Daniel, Daniel's got a little bit of, hey, we're up here and everybody else can try to catch us until we get to the November, December timeframe. Hey, it's a little bit of a rivalry, though. Daniel hears this all the time. So they're going to have some fire. Who knows? Crazy things happen.
We got John Epps, Kevin Thomas from the Moving the Chains podcast. Is the X Spaces coming back to Twitter? The Twitter X, the X Twitter Spaces. We running that thing back tonight, fellas?
Oh yeah, man! Did it last week. Had a really good showing. Some coaches hopped in. A lot of fans hopped in. Definitely excited to get a different perspective from across the state on all the different scores. Hopefully, Rob can pop in there when their game's over. The timing this week may be a little bit off, as we mentioned. Some of these games get moved back to 8:00 with the heat.
Do you have a list of which games those are, by the way?
If you go to our Twitter, you can find most of them. Yes, we haven't typed out a list, but a lot of them have been shared on our Twitter. A lot of them here in the upstate have stayed at 7:30 as of now. That could change in the next hour or two. We shall see. But a lot of them in the Columbia, Rock Hill area have moved back to 8:00.
There you go. That is Kevin Thomas. That is John Epps. They are from the Moving the Chains podcast. You can find them across all the social media at Moving Chains. No G, and the website's up as well at the same spot, movingchains.com. And, of course, you can grab their podcast weekly on Spotify, on Google Podcast, on Apple iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. And, of course, if you are on Twitter, join them tonight at the conclusion of the game for those X Spaces. Yo, appreciate you, fellas. Good talk.
Appreciate you, Rob. Thanks, Lonzo.
Thanks for having us, Rob. Take care, guys.
We'll see you boys next Friday to do it all again. Break them all down one more time again on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. All right, fellas. See y'all next Friday. Appreciate you. Where y'all going to be at tonight? You going out tonight?
Yeah, Drill and I are going to Sumter, actually.
Hold on. My bad.
Right, say that again. Y'all going to be at a game tonight?
Yeah, Drill and I are going to Sumter, Ridgeview and Sumter. John's heading down to Fairfield Central, kind of in the Midlands area, so should be good.
Right,
Kevin and Drill have to head out in about 30 minutes to get there.
All right, boys. Appreciate y'all. See you later on.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Later. Cool.
Hey, all I gotta say is I made an assumption because North Carolina should be higher in the Appalachians, whatever, that it would be a higher elevation. I was wrong. No one told me there would be geography questions. It's my fault, though. I brought it up. One thing about this show, though, you're going to learn something. And I learn daily things like that.
Just his ability to create, outside the pocket is definitely going to help us. And there's a three-way tie atop the leaderboard after one round at the Tour Championship. Colin Morikawa, Keegan Bradley, Victor Hovland are all 10 under. I'm Greg Caserta.
If you're hired, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Thinning hair is normal, but it doesn't have to be your fate.
Once I started taking Nutrafol, I could physically see my hair get thicker. It made my hair stronger.
Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand.
Nutrafol has taken me back today.
Yeah, that was my point, Joe. It's higher on the map, so.
Nothing to lose and everything to grow. Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's NUT.
All I know is I have to drive through mountains when I go up there. That's why I thought that, you know. What do I know? I was raised in a valley. Everything looks higher to me.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Mark Ryan. If you're like me, you're no interior decorator and you need a bit of help putting together an outfit that pops. I'm beyond grateful I met my friends at Smith & James Fine Men's Clothing.
So I just pointed out I was raised in a valley. Everything's higher elevation than me. So
A holler?
No, a valley.
Isn't that a holler? No, we looked up a holler one time.
We did.
What was that?
Yeah. A holler and a valley are two totally different things. You can have a holler at any elevation. Where are you going? I've been a couple different ways.
The thing I went to get, but forgot to get.
Wow.
Chris distracted me.
He does that on
He
purpose.
came out with a mouse.
Like an actual mouse
like a
or
clicky mouse.
okay, all right.
And the clicky mouse.
Because the actual mouse that would have been kind of cooler.
Inside the USB connector.
Yeah,
that goes
don't
in the
do,
computer.
don't.
Inside of that.
Yeah,
part.
why you? I mean,
Because I didn't think about it till you
yeah,
pointed
because
it out.
you are on.
You understand half the dirty jokes that I make because you point them out.
Well, you're doing it on the stream,
I
dude.
don't care. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You know.
Anyway,
Sounds off, and someone glances over there. What are they going to think you're doing?
the USB part of the computer, like the little plug that goes into the mouse connector, snapped off into the mouse connector, which is interesting, except for Chris can't find the USB slot that broke. He doesn't know where it's from. So he's like checking all the computers and our whole little thing. And I'm like, well, it's not ours because we have ours. So he's playing detective right now and it's not going swimmingly for him. Yeah! I wasn't ready. Do it again. Yeah! Yeah! It's the third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Howdy, y'all. Welcome back.
There he is. There he is right there.
We were at the Triumph game on Wednesday, and our buddy John pulled up into the parking lot. And when he pulled in, so all the cars are parked along the fence. And when you just pull in, you just go down to the next spot, park, and walk over to the tailgate. He pulled in, and I wasn't making the joke. I didn't even think about it. When he pulled up, he had his windows down, and I was like, hey, there he is. And he immediately just went and double finger gunned me.
You got to do that.
There he is.
You got to.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hour number 3 of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. It is week 7 in college football.
Let's
and
get down to the nitty-gritty.
Lonzo, the thief of joy, has robbed my excitement of it.
Poof.
There it went. Finally, it applied to something.
Context!
Finally, I've been waiting.
Oh, that's fantastic. Anyway, week 0 getting started, coming up tomorrow at 2:30. Win live from Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Navy squares off against Notre Dame.
I can't wait till you finally meet Odie. So when you do that, he can judge you.
It is the only word that I try anymore is Ireland.
You might be doing it well. I don't know.
I'm killing that one word.
Okay. All right.
I can't do an Irish accent to save my arse. I can do that one too.
That's more pirate.
No, it's not.
That's more pirate. It absolutely is.
No, that would be save my arse. It's different. Anyway, Navy, Notre Dame, the midshipmen. Folks who have been around for a minute are also laughing. Folks that are new are like, what is he doing? What is he talking about, man? Anyway, that game's set tomorrow at 2:30 as it stands right now. The Irish are big-time favorites in that one. They are currently sitting, last I checked, at about -30 overall. So you got to lay a whole lot of points if you want to take. No, Lonzo. It is -20. So a lot of money coming in on Navy to cover.
That's still a lot. That's still a lot of points.
That's a 3-touchdown game. But again, at -20.5 is the spread. So they got to win by 3 touchdowns or better. I'm still laying the points. Let me tell you why I'm laying the points. I'm laying the points for the reasons I think that the great one has the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in his playoff 4. It is year numero dos for Marcus Freeman. Freeman took over from Brian Kelly, a roster that was in decent shape, and he upgraded with a transfer quarterback in Sam Hartman coming over from Wake Forest, a quarterback that I am telling you right now, circle his name in red, because I think there is a better than average chance that we are talking about Sam Hartman at the end of the year as a dark horse Heisman Trophy invite finalist. I'm not going to say winner. I don't think he's going to quite get there. But I do think that he could be invited. That he could be invited to the Heisman Trophy celebration for a couple of reasons. Number one, Freeman, who's a defensive-minded guy, has done what a lot of other coaches who are defensive-minded coaches don't do. He has basically given control of the offense to his offensive positions. Now, here's the bad news. Tommy Rees left. Tommy Rees was the OC for Notre Dame last year. Notre Dame was very up and down, both offensively and as a team last year. We talked about that. But Tommy Rees was the reason that Notre Dame's offense was able to repeatedly come off of bad L's and get it together the next week. Tommy Rees was good enough. Who hired him to come be their offensive coordinator this year? Nick Saban and the University of Alabama. So they turned it over to Jared Parker. Parker is now the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, promoted to the role from the tight ends coach last year, has been a coach at the FBS level for a dozen years now. Parker is a very offensive-minded guy. He's a former Kentucky Wildcat wide receiver. On top of that, a very high-energy guy. He is a dude the players seem to love so far, A, and B, he's a guy that is not afraid to let his dudes cork it, to just go. Sam Hartman has a deep ball arm. Sam Hartman is a guy that can absolutely get the ball down the field. So if they can find a yak daddy or two, they could end up threatening to have one of the biggest big play offenses in football this year. Sam Hartman is that good. The question mark for me is at wide receiver. Tobias Merriweather is going to be their X. He's a 6'4", 204-pound sophomore. Rico Flores Jr., a 6 foot, 205-pounder. Matt Salerno, a 6 foot, 199-pounder. So they are going small on the outside. In fact, the only two receivers they have over 6 foot are Jaden Thomas, a 6'1", 221-pounder, and Merriweather, who is 6'4". Everybody else at the wide receiver spot for Notre Dame is 6 foot or shorter. If you got a bunch of short guys on the outside, which the Irish do, what do you have to do? Chain move football, right? Chain move football with the occasional deep route. You said one guy deep, Brandon Cook style football. I'll put it that way for those of you that are NFL guys. Brandon Cook style football. That's why Brandon Cooks has been in the NFL, Lonzo, for 216 years. Because he's not a guy who gets a ton of looks. But when he is, he's a guy that you find streaking down the outside because everybody played up to play chain moving pass defense. So I'm interested there. It's going to come down to the offensive line, I think. Can they keep Sam Hartman upright? Left tackle, starter, Joe Alt is 6'7.5", 322 pounds. Left guard, Pat Coogan, 6'4", 303. Center, 6'3", 306, Zeke Correll. Right guard, Rocco Spindler is 6'4.5", 314. Rocco. I'm just saying, you got a good right guard in Rocco. You can, if you got to trust somebody, you can trust a fella named Rocco. You know what I mean? And then Blake Fisher, 6'6", 310 at the right spot. It's a big offensive line.
6'6", 310. He's kind of light, isn't he?
I mean, compared to 6'7.5", 322.
Yeah, I mean, you need to eat some more there, dude.
I think Notre Dame is going to look to go wide open against Navy. Here's why I like Notre Dame in this game, aside from the fact that I just think Notre Dame is going to be offensively good. Navy's got some turnover. Navy football offensive coordinator Grant Chestnut is a spread guy. And this is very interesting. First and foremost, Lonzo, can I tell you what's very interesting to me? I just Googled Notre Dame football because I wanted to see if there were any changes. Navy football, because I wanted to see if there were any changes before the matchup tomorrow. And if you Google Navy football, the phone number to the Navy football front office just pops up. We can just call Navy football right now.
Well, you mean like the recruiting office? It's probably the recruit. That's how they. That's what it is.
Does anybody want a scholarship? Anyway, Brian Newberry takes over as the head coach after, 15 years of Ken Niumatalolo? If you can get that within 2 tries, you're good.
I don't know, so I think you did it perfectly.
I can't even get the first name. Ken Niumatalolo is let go after 15 years. Unfortunately, rather unceremoniously. He is replaced by Brian Newberry. Now, I'm not worried about that. What I'm interested in is the change at offensive coordinator where Grant Chestnut steps in. Grant Chestnut is a spread offense guy. Grant Chestnut's a guy who wants to open the field up left and right. Navy, over the past couple of years, obviously, has been not just run first, they've been run first, second, and third. So they've got a roster that is built to run the football, with the exception of the handful of freshmen in this year's recruiting class for Brian Newberry. Navy's going to try to go wide open with a run-first roster. Notre Dame's going to cover this spread, and they're going to cover it by, a lot. Also coming up, maybe the game of the day. I know Zoe is jacked about it. The Massachusetts Minutemen taking on the New Mexico State Aggies. Aggies favored by 6 in this one.
Wait, Massachusetts has a football team?
The Minutemen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Hawaii is on the road. They're taking on Vandy. The Doors are 16.5-point favorites in this one. I'm going Vandy, and I might go Vandy to cover, honestly. Hawaii just ain't been the same in a couple of years. I am interested in what the Doors are going to look like. I am interested in their quarterback this year, A.J. Swan. He is a sophomore. A.J. Swan has not had a bunch of PT, but A.J. Swan I think he checks in 6'3", 220, is a well put together quarterback out of Cherokee High School in Georgia. Well put together quarterback, good arm, consistent arm. Question is, are they going to be able to throw the ball? They got Will Shepard, pardon me, as their starting wide receiver. A 6'3", 200-pounder who can go. They're going to take some shots. I'm going to hit the doors in week 1. USC taking on San Jose State, a San Jose Spartans team, by the way.
You mean Southern Cal?
That would be the ones.
Okay. No, that would be Southern Cal.
Yeah, USC.
Southern Cal.
Right. USC. University of Southern
Future
California.
Big Ten team Southern Cal.
Future Big Ten team USC. Our favorites, though, by minus 29.5.
Another one that you just can't wait to watch. I guess if you like blowouts, I mean, if you're into blowouts, that's fine.
I'm going to say it this
I
way.
prefer competition, you know.
Week 0 games, to me, are watched the same way that NFL preseason games are watched. I am not watching because there is a question about the outcome. There's not. With the NFL, I don't care what the final score is. In college football, I know who's winning these games. I am not watching them to find out who is going to win.
All right.
I am watching them to find out, is Caleb Williams a Heisman repeat threat? Does the offense have it in Lincoln Riley's second year? If they go out there and they hang 63 on New Mexico State, we got a pretty good indication that Lincoln has taken the Trojans back in the right direction. But if they go out there and they're in a 12-point victory shootout with the Spartans, then maybe we all jump the gun on a team that's in the AP top 8.
All right. So if you're going to open the weekend, the opening weekend of college football, which they're not billing this as that.
It's not. It's week 0.
So why do it at all? It doesn't make sense, period. You want to get people back into college football. You want to get people who are not fans yet, but you want them to be. Maybe they're younger. They're trying to decide, do I like college football or not? I don't know. So you give them this. No, you come in with what they're doing next weekend. Why not do that this weekend? Or you know what? There's this thing where you just put it off for another week. You just put it off for another week. I think we're better off if you start the weekend off the way you're doing next week, not this week. I don't understand the purpose.
Okay. So, as I have said,
you're not about the Mr. Miyagi meal, are you? Okay, all right. If that works on my leg, dude, I'm good for it. I'm good for it. Let's do it.
I'd give it a shot for the knee. All right. So, as I mentioned, I am excited about this weekend for 2 reasons. Number 1, competitive football that counts on a record book. It's just been a minute. All right. We had Burns last week. And so far, outside of the XFL, USFL, and CFL, this is the first true competitive football game that goes on the record books. If San Jose State upsets USC, college football's in flux from the outset. They're not gonna. But if they do, the second reason I'm excited about this weekend is for my job. It's for my job. Because you have a couple of things. Number 1, like we mentioned, we get to find out, are Notre Dame who Lonzo thinks they are? Did that sentence come out right? I feel like
there was a slurring or something in there that caused it.
I feel like I used
what's in that
tenses and
can that you're drinking? Well, it's not even open
yet.
Yeah, it's not. What's the point? I mean, show's almost over.
A Monster Mosa. Throw some champagne
is that
in here.
like? Oh,
it's just a white monster.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you said mocha. I was going to say
Monster Mosa.
Coffee tasting.
Number 1, we're going to get to find out if Notre Dame is who Lonzo thinks that they are. That's how you do it. Is Notre Dame a true playoff threat? Lonzo says yes. We are going to find out tonight if they are, because here's the thing. Tomorrow, if they are. We're going to find out tonight if Burns is.
Absolutely.
We're going to find out tonight if
Tune in
Notre
at 7
Dame,
p.m. Burns versus Chapman.
Pregame 7, kickoff 7:30. Rob Brown with Sam Clark and Lane Fowler on the call. Let's go. The second thing we get to start to do here, we get to start to compare lesser individual teams that we will utilize as yardsticks later in the season. So I guess, maybe it's just me. Maybe y'all don't care. But For me, as a football guy, I'm excited because it's record book football. And as a football analyst, I'm excited because we will get some questions answered about two of the top 10 teams in the country, the Irish and the Trojans.
All right, text line 71307. Are you hyped for week 0? Also, stream Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, the X, yo. Are you hyped for this? Am I the only one that's just like, eh?
I mean, I'm sure that you are not.
Well, we already know Rashad is with me. So if me and Rashad are together, I mean, you know.
Sure. Like I said, I am sure that you are not the only person who's like not super jacked about week 0 football because yes, roster wise, this is not the most exciting week that we've ever seen put down. All right. Like schedule wise, it's very meh. I'm not going to argue that it's not. What I am going to say is you can learn some lessons from this.
Nope.
There are some takeaways from this. There are some things that we can figure out from this.
Nope.
Lincoln Riley's offense. Can Caleb Williams? If Caleb Williams comes out and throws for 475 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Against who?
Navy.
What's it prove?
That's why I said 475 yards and 7 touchdowns and not 225 and 2.
Okay, well, I'm saying is what's it prove? Is he going up against someone in the conference?
That he's got gas.
Yeah,
that he's got juice.
If you go right now out to a Pee Wee team that's practicing and you throw the ball, you're going to throw for phenomenal numbers.
At the end of the year, when they hand out to the Heisman, do they just check the games you played against top 25 teams, or is it seasonal on production? Can I get a gauge on how good a guy is when he
count
shreds
against
lesser
you?
opponents?
Does it count against you if you play poorly against those teams?
Yes. It doesn't count against you, but it certainly will not
All
help
right.
you.
So my point being, if it could count against you and you think you're up for something and you want to make sure that those style points are out there, you're going to go out there and you're going to try to, I don't want to say destroy the Navy because that doesn't sound right. You're going to go out there and you're going to put up as we've learned is in the actual term of measurement, a buttload of points on the Navy. You're going to do that. So I already know they're going to do that.
But what if they don't? What if they don't? What if their offense looks anemic? What if Caleb Williams looks like hot garbage against the Navy defense? What if the Navy defense hassles him all day long? Well, if Navy's defense hassles Caleb Williams all day long, guess who starts salivating? Notre Dame. Because they play each other in a couple of weeks. And the Irish defense might go, hey, we can go get this guy. One of those two teams is going to drop out of the top 10 because they play each other. I want to get an indication of who it is because at some point, I got to make a pick.
All right, Notre Dame is playing Navy. Did you mean?
USC and Notre Dame play each other in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, I was just clarifying before someone else came at you.
And they would.
Yeah, they would. So
calm down, Ray. Relax, Ray. Texas said week 0 is for TV views. A radio host should know that, Lonzo.
All right, as far as that goes, I'm just an award-winning producer. I'm not a host, I'm not, it's not in my. All right. Anyway, so what kind of TV views are you getting? That's my whole point. You're only going to get people like Rob who can't wait to watch college football and will watch anything college football, no matter what level it is. And good for him. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not me. And there are at least a few people like me who are like, it's pretty much meh. The real college football season starts next Thursday.
Like nobody's arguing that. We're just saying you get a taste. This is like going to dinner and being like, no appetizers for me. I'm only here for the main course.
Well, yeah, because if you eat all the appetizers, you're not going to have room for the main course, and then you're definitely not going to have room for dessert. Appetizers are for groups. If it's just you and somebody else.
Appetizers are what?
They're for groups of people, so you can just have a couple bites. If it's just you and somebody else, if you eat an appetizer, you're not getting dessert. You also are not going to eat your entire meal. You're going to have to take part of it home. So lay off the apps if you want to eat your whole meal. That's all I'm saying. I am so
I don't know what to say to you.
I am so happy that you're excited for week 0. I really am. And I'm not going to apologize that I'm not.
I'm not.
And Ray, the texter, why are you still here?
Lonzo, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I don't think you are. I really don't.
We got to take a break. I am just going to go scan and read over the week 0 schedule over and over until I steal my joy back from the Rainmaker over there. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate.
Making it rain up in here, go.
Somebody just said Lonzo is an alien, but they spelled your name Lawnzo. I don't know why that makes me laugh like it does, but it does.
Well, I'm sure they're doing that on purpose.
Lonzo. I have to think.
Sounds like they just want me to mow the lawn.
Lonzo. Big Ange.
Big Ange. You know, spelling is difficult, apparently. So I do believe he's disappointed in me, but you know. But here's the thing, you know, I would say I'm 35 minutes away from vacation, but that's not true. Because I have production to do, I have managing to do, and then I have a show tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. And if you've never tuned into the Upstate Pulse, you should. 7 to 9 p.m. 98.9 FM, or on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or the X. You can catch us on all that stuff. It's basically the same show as this is, except with less restraint. I hope so. I literally am going to try to do some yard work. I haven't been able to stand a whole lot. I'm not going to whine about it, but I haven't been able to stand a whole lot with my knee being messed up. But I'm going to take a chair out there, stand up for a while, do some weed eating, sit back down till I feel like I can stand again. Maybe drop some LBs out in the heat. Where I'm going to be is well shaded, though. It's still going to be hot, but I got a lot of trees. So there's that.
We are streaming.
Well, but then he asked me, he speculated, wondered, I wonder if that person is still like that. It's vindictive in that way. And it's occurred to me that I could be like that.
Yep.
Especially in regards to
Vindictive. I would never be that way.
somebody who's been here for years and still hasn't changed their life.
We are on stream. Please stop. I know you don't care about stuff, but we do.
No, I understand that.
Yeah. I'm talking about, when I say we, I mean me and him.
No, I understand that. I understand.
Okay.
That's why I'm being intentionally vague.
No, you're not.
That
No, you're not.
Everybody watching on the screen.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, but they
It's a
know
running
too.
joke.
That's why you're not.
Well,
Yeah. It's a running joke.
By the way, Chris, Starfield has no level cap, and the game really gets started. Yeah, but it's really big. So I was going to say the game really gets started after you beat the story mission.
So it's out?
And no,
Oh.
still got 2 weeks. Modders are going to be able to create their own planets.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. You can go to a Western planet, into a space age planet, into a planet full of cats, and an amoeba planet. I know, that's why I mentioned it, because I know it bothers you. Because I'm vindictive.
Okay.
like to bring things back around. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's what I do.
It's okay. It's just that
I get your dislike of it. I don't agree with it, but I get it.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean modding?
Yeah, I get
Or
it.
tax evasion?
Well, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Whatever that may mean. By the way, I do know what that means, so don't elaborate.
Just saying that
I'm there with
if
you where
I
you're
were a
going,
particular
mister.
type of person,
Yes.
then authorities might find out.
Yeah,
If
phone
I
call.
was.
Don't think people haven't said that like in the hallway. It was me. I've heard it. It's like echoes because things echo and it's.
Well, right now I'm irritated.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not a good thing. All right, we're coming back from break now. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Oh, that's not good.
So, you know what? I'll talk about that very briefly, just because I think it's cool and it's Friday. And shut up, I want to.
You don't have to make excuses. Your name's on the show, dude. Do what you do.
The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are a minor league baseball team that I have been watching for years because I'm from Pensacola. So, I have been to that stadium 150 times. I have. That's where I threw out my first pitch at a big time game was with the Blue Wahoos.
I'm sure you threw the heat then too.
Oh, did.
Of course.
Absolute K. Threw out a first pitch for the Wahoos. I used to work for the Wahoos in in-game entertainment. I did a few games on the PA for the Wahoos. Used to cover the Wahoos extensively. I love the Blue Wahoos. And I will tell you that the Blue Wahoos have one of the nicest minor league stadiums in America. It's a beautiful stadium, sits right on the water. They've got their own little McCovey Cove in left field where if you go yad, it hits the water. Out over the right field wall, it looks out across the Intracoastal Waterway out to the Gulf of Mexico, and the sunsets there are remarkable. It's a beautiful stadium, and some of you may have seen this at some point. You can rent out Pensacola Blue Wahoo Stadium, Lonzo, on Airbnb. You can rent out the entire stadium, and they give you access to the whole stadium, the batting cages, the field itself. They put cots up in the dorm room if you care to try to sleep, and you can rent it out for groups, I believe, of upwards of 20 people. So you could rent out the stadium and play a 200-inning baseball game if you brought 22 dudes. All right? So my man James just hit me up on the stream and said, would you rent a night at Pensacola Blue Wahoo Stadium for $5,100 a night? Zoe, I'm not saying, let me start with this, and then I'll get to where I'm going there. I can take a leave or bachelor party. I get married next year. I can take or leave a bachelor party.
I still have never been to Florida. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, stay tuned. I can take a leave or bachelor party, right? Like I'm 38 years old, right? Like the bachelor party interest of my 20s aren't really in my wheelhouse anymore. But the concept of getting together with all the boys for one last hurrah, which it's not a last hurrah. My fiance actually loves when I go hang out with the guys because then she gets the house to herself. She's a big fan. The concept of a hurrah with the fellas has been discussed, and it's, you know, it's like it is for everybody else that gets married in their late 30s. We're talking about, let's go play 2 rounds of golf. Maybe we hit a cigar bar, you know. We go grab some mojitos in the daytime, whatever, just laid back stuff. And then Joey B about a week ago was like, hey, what if you put together about 20 dudes and we just go all in? Because if you split it up like 20 ways, you're talking about like $165 per person, Zoe, to have access to a full professional minor league baseball stadium.
Or let me just throw this out there. You make a few more people like 30 or maybe a little bit more than that. I'm just saying, I know someone who has a band who could, just show up in a place like that and get to play in the stadium.
Well,
which would be you've got the place rented out. I'm not saying you do it. I mean, you do it just for you. Have the band play in the stadium. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
I'm a music guy. I love the band. But if you think I'm not utilizing a minor league ballpark to play the longest baseball game in history, everybody's pitching, everybody's hitting, we're going home run
If
derby.
any member of your band is listening, I'm looking out for you because I think that would also be cool. And I'm sure you guys can play baseball. Also, you got to take a break at some point.
Yeah, we're not going to play a show for nobody. Like we're playing ball.
All right, so a member
ball so hard.
All right. Here's the thing: a member of that band is getting married. So you're saying that band would have to be? It wouldn't want to play for their guy who drives all the way back there for shows and stuff.
They're literally playing at my wedding reception. That's already booked. I'm just saying, you get full access to a baseball stadium. I'm baseballing all night.
I get that, but dude, you said you play like one solo. Imagine playing that one solo in a
nobody
in a state
to nobody.
Music is not about the people; it's about you. Wow, wow! I
never rig up my concert setup in my living room by myself.
See,
I just don't.
See, there have been times back in the day before I retired, out in the middle of the woods, I would bring all the equipment outside and just play to the squirrels. You know why? Because it was cool.
To keep them from invading.
It does work. I got to do it again soon. I just think it would be cool to not only play baseball, but have your band play too.
I very much appreciate it and the sentiment and the thought.
I'm looking out for you guys. Just keep in mind, he's not. I am.
I'm just saying we're throwing down. And I'm not saying that if I got to get to like 22 bros to rent out that stadium. And when I say bros, that is all inclusive, right? I've got buddies who they're going to bring the ladies because they're going to get to come play some ball too, and they're going to want to. So the answer, James, yes, Rob Brown has not ruled out a bachelor party, renting out a minor league baseball stadium, and just having an all-night baseballer. Just an all-out rager on the diamond. Be incredible. Could you imagine playing 9 innings of ball and then cracking a bunch of cold ones with the fellas circled around the pitcher's mound in a minor league stadium with the lights on? Be incredible. Be the greatest bachelor party of all time.
I'm just so hurt that you don't like my band idea. I just because I think you're not going to play baseball that long. Do you know how old you are, Rob? How many innings do you really have in you? How many innings do you really have? I mean, I get the intentions. You're going to play all night long. No, you're not.
I could probably still throw 3, but I could play in right field for as long as you need.
Wow. But you also keep in mind the people you're inviting, what kind of shape are they in? Are they going to play that many innings that you're saying?
Look, I get your drive and I appreciate it. And I also know that if I do this and you're going to be invited, you're going to want to play in a baseball stadium. And I respect the hell out of that too. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying if I rent out a baseball stadium, I'm playing baseball. It'd be like if I rent out a concert hall, I'm not going to go up there and give a speech.
Listen,
I'm going to plug in the guitar
admittedly,
and go.
I would love to get up there and sing My Sharona in the stadium because I've never sang My Sharona. And I'm guessing you guys probably play My Sharona. And yes, and I'll just sing backup. I don't care.
We're playing baseball. We're playing baseball all night. We are playing baseball until we die.
All right. So, the death will happen 2.5 innings in when everyone goes, man, it's hot out here. I just don't want. And then suddenly you guys are just all drinking. And then there's no more baseball. I'm just out there throwing the ball up into my glove by myself.
All right. Couple of things we need to get in here before we get up out of here. Carolina Panthers final preseason game takes place tonight. Hey, Frank. If I can call you Frank. We haven't got a chance to interview Frank.
Frankie!
Hey, Frank.
I'm calling him Frankie.
Don't play Bryce tonight. All right. Like, I know you want to. I know you want to give him reps. I know you want to give him time. I know you want to let him get out there and turn a few snaps. I get it. But please do not play Bryce Young again until the regular season unless your offensive line shows that they're not going to collapse under the lightest bit of pressure. Please.
Yeah, I believe I've already seen that he's playing Bryce tonight.
I know he's going to. it is not going to stop me from asking him please not to.
Well, if you fine. And then I missed the button. I'm going on vacation. I got an excuse.
3-2.
I'm gonna ask Tim to keep track. We'll see how many times you do it next week.
I mean, I can't lose to you. You're not playing the game.
You're absolutely right.
Will I lose to Tim? I don't know.
I'll be out in the yard.
Don't play. Don't play BYU.
He needs to. He absolutely needs to. We still haven't seen enough, and they haven't seen enough of him going up against another team. They've got to get him out there a little bit more. They absolutely have to. You know, if for any other reason than to get a spark that will get people to come in, you know, the first couple of weeks and buy some tickets and come in and watch the game. Because what we've seen so far is like, yeah, you know what? I think I'll just watch at home.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I selling tickets to a preseason game takes a distant.
I'm not talking about that.
Don't get your rookie quarterback murdered.
I'm not talking about tickets for the preseason game. I'm talking about tickets for week 1, game 1, game 2. I'm talking about that. There's some people on the fence going, yeah, I don't know. Because we know there's probably available seats right now because they're picked to be in the cellar.
Here's the thing. If he goes out there and he gets trounced again, who's going to get jacked about seeing that? Oh, yeah, let me buy my tickets to go watch BY get smoked every down.
Bryce,
sounds great.
Bruce, go out and get some calluses. Go out there and get knocked around a little bit. Get up and look at everybody like, yeah, is that all you got?
Bruce.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not. It's just no. Sit him, rest him. You're not gaining anything, but he's not going to get better playing tonight. Like there's no improvement from him playing tonight.
I think you get better every time. Every time we turn this mic on, we get better.
I don't know. I've had some awful moments today. I'm not going to lie. Hey, here's fun. Beats by Dre has just announced their first NIL class.
I'm going to say they're expensive. I don't have it.
They are expensive. I can't do it, dudes. I can't do it.
We wear headphones for a living, so paying that much money for something, I mean.
If there was something I was going to spend that much money on, it should be a good set of cans. I can't do it, dude.
Well,
I can't do it.
I buy new ones here like once a year maybe, but I've still
had these
too much.
Since I moved here. They're still the best headsets I've ever worn. Anyway, Beats by Dre.
I don't think Beats fit my noggin anyway, so I can't do that.
Lonzo puts them on there. Beats by Dre.
I'm not offended because that's the truth.
They have announced that they have signed their inaugural Beats Elite class. These are all college football players who have been signed to an NIL deal with Beats by Dre. They include Caleb Williams at USC, DJ Uiagalelei at Oregon State, Jalen Milroe at Alabama, Jaden Daniels at LSU, JJ McCarthy at Michigan, Joe Milton at Tennessee, Jordan Travis at FSU, Kool-Aid McKinstry at Alabama, Malachi Starks at Georgia, Michael Penix at Washington, Nick Singleton at Penn State, Quinn Ewers at Texas, Sam Hartman at Notre Dame, Shador Sanders at Colorado, and Cade Klubnik from Clemson.
All right, so you read through really fast one. Let me interrupt with the Kool-Aid thing. I mean,
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. Okay, why Kool-Aid? Is he like a conspiracy theorist? Is it? I mean, what's the deal with the Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid McKinstry earned the nickname from. I actually know this off the top of my head. Earned the nickname from his grandmama because she said that he smiled so big as a baby it reminded her of the Kool-Aid Man.
All right, that's good.
The nickname stuck, and he's been Kool-Aid ever since.
Did you you Clemson folks hear that DJ got a deal with Beats? I don't think Beats goes with Scrubs. I'm just saying. I mean, because they're putting those on people, you know.
I had a talk with the other day with a couple of the BetQL guys. Ryan Horvat being one of them, big college football guy. Ryan and I talk college football now because, you know, we're boys. And Ryan said, dude who watched him in person a few times, what do you think about DJ Uiagalelei? To which I said, honestly, I'm not going in expecting much. And then I hope to be pleasantly surprised. I said, I think DJ's got all the physical tools. I really hope that the butt kick that he got by being effectively shuffled out at Clemson was a slice of humble pie he needed. Because I think Big Dave blew his head up to where he needed to rub margarine on it to get through the door. I hope that getting run out of Clemson was the slice of humble pie that DJ Uiagalelei needed to come back down to earth and figure it out. And if he can do it, he could be good at Oregon State. They've got weapons. They've got coaching. He could break out at Oregon State. But I'm not going to believe that he can until he does. That being said, as Zoe pointed out, you look at all of these other guys. Cade Klubnik, top 5 Heisman Trophy odds. Caleb Williams, shortest trophy odds. Jalen Milroe takes over from BY. You don't earn that job without Nick Saban believing in you. Jaden Daniels, top 5 Heisman odds. J.J. McCarthy at Michigan kicked Cade McNamara out of his job a year after he won the Big Ten. He took his job. You think he's going to be a scrub? Joe Milton at Tennessee. Again, Tennessee was a top 5 program last year. And their coaches have been telling you, he's got everything that Hendon Hooker had. Jordan Travis at Florida State. Kool-Aid McKinstry just has a cool name. That's just a good name. Malachi Starks at Georgia is an All-American defensive back. Michael Penix at Washington. I think 7th shortest Heisman Trophy odds. Nick Singleton at Penn State. Everybody thinks Penn State's going to have something to say about who wins the Big Ten. And Quinn Ewers beat Arch Manning, who is a football god.
And, some beats on that head of hair for Quinn. I mean, nothing rocks a mullet like some beats.
It's true.
By the way, if you guys use that, I want some money.
When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we end our broadcast week by asking what the X is going on Twitter. We'll do that next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
That's a good. I think that's a good. No one rocks a mullet like Beats. I think they owe me something for that. I say creative things all the time. That one, I think I'm very proud of. What kind of music you think Quinn Ewers listens to?
Say that again.
What kind of music you think Quinn Ewers listens to?
Quinn
on his beats?
I'm going to say Quinn Ewers, based on haircut and beard alone. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't you worry about it. I'm about to share it with you. Let me pull up the best picture. Here it is. Quinn Ewers, 175%. Where'd it go? Oh, that one. That one. That guy listens to Morgan Wallen. That guy listens to Florida Georgia Line.
Okay, would you say the same thing about me if you didn't know me because of the hair?
No. Your overall vibe is not bro country. If I thought you listened to country, you're a Willie Nelson guy.
Which I'm not. He doesn't deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But that's an old argument. No, I look like I should be in Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Correct. Absolutely.
That guy is 100% pulling up to the facility listening to Whiskey Glasses. If I'm going to make it through.
I also look like I would be on Access TV or VH1 talking about stuff that happened in the 80s. Yeah. You know that guy that used to be famous, but you're still not quite sure who he is? It's like, man, you look familiar. So I'm taking Odie to different restaurants each Saturday, trying to figure out where to go next. One place we haven't been in like a decade is right down the road from here. Like that way.
I don't know what's that way.
You never go that way?
No.
It used to be Quaker Steak and Lube.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Home of the Mustang Burger. It's been a while. I don't know if they still have the Mustang Burger. Think about maybe
the Mustang Burger.
I don't even remember what's on it. We did a bet one time on the football show on Word, and the losers had to buy a meal for the person who won and wash their car physically out in the parking lot, which we did. And there was another one where you also had to serve the meal to the person and use a high-pitched English accent. So it was a lot of Monty Python, and one of the guys, Angry Zach, could not speak in an English accent.
Angry Zach.
So you just go Mustang Burger, and it was so bad that we just kept having him do it over and over again. He got his nickname because the more mad he gets, the better he is on the air. So me and Matt Tomlinson, who I did the show with, we would take turns trying to make him mad to get him to just kill it on the air, and he would every time. He's also now a cop, so you know. Don't you let autocorrect beat you, Steven. Don't you do that.
We believe in you.
They took the Quaker off of, it's just like the lube now, which just, you know, so yeah, I know.
Lube burger?
Yeah, I don't know. The menu's still up, so, but I'd hate to roll in there and find out they don't have food anymore. But I'm not saying that's where we're going, but we might go. Because I'm also, you know, I've never been able to spend time with someone from Ireland. So I'm getting points of views on things as little as condiments. You know, what condiments do they use in Ireland?
What condiments do they use in Ireland?
I don't know, but I will find out tomorrow on the Ask Odie segment. Yes, I even did a whole theme because I think it's kind of cool. And I would do the same thing no matter where someone's from. It's just, it is fun watching him crack jokes at people and they can't tell if he's doing a fake accent or not. And they're just trying to figure out what he just said. And I love that. No, nothing at all, James. Sounds legitimate, doesn't it? Look at that. Show's over. Just about.
Just like that.
All right. Time to ask Rob what the X is going on, yo.
Yo.
And I was going to avoid this, but I can't because something is happening now, which is just amazing and definitely expected. Mugshot is trending.
So yesterday, former President Donald Trump turned himself into Fulton County Prison, where he was arrested and booked with charges of election fraud, inciting, and some other issues.
Stuck in Fulton Prison.
And then his mugshot was taken. He was issued an inmate number, and that was disseminated to the masses on social media, which has, of course, led to all of us just holding hands and singing Kumbaya.
Yeah. So anyway, the only reason I'm bringing this up, aside from the politics and all that kind of stuff, the mugshot, the way he did the picture is being used for everything now.
Yeah.
Including when someone says Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the NFL, this is my look. So this is going to be used forever. So there will be, 50 years ago from now, or ago, if you're like a time traveler, they're going to look at this and it's still going to be used. If of course by then, the memes would probably be holograms, maybe. But they thought the cars would be flying now too, and they're not.
Look, I will simply say that that picture is being used in the widest variety of internet memes I have ever seen a picture be used for.
Yeah, for sure.
It's being used for
All right.
fundraising efforts, for memes. It is I'm just going to say this without taking a stance. That picture is going to go down in history for a lot of reasons. And internet memeage is going to be at the very top of that list.
I think the people who said that they were going to do this and didn't think it would blow up the way it is, and it's just beginning. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. All right, the next thing that's Xing yo is Hulk Hogan.
So I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it, but Hulk Hogan sat down with somebody and did a podcast interview.
Muscle Magazine, I believe.
Yeah, and did an interview / podcast. And in said interview / podcast, apparently he made up some wild story about like coming across dead people before a wrestling show and playing I don't even know what the whole deal is, but he did this interview and immediately people that were at it were like, yeah, none of this happened. We don't know what the hell Terry is talking about. None of this happened. So on top of some questionable personal opinions that Terry has spewed over the years, now apparently, according to a lot of people who were also there, he's also just a wide open liar.
He has been
amazing.
He has been hit and or dropped on his head quite a bit.
A lot of times.
And with no protection up there. He hasn't had protection up there in a long time. And he is getting older. So, I mean, older people, I hear tell, make things up, whether it's true or not, and just goes with it. And people respect them enough to not go, yeah, you didn't do that. But the internet, not so kind.
Yeah, the internet will not stand for your shenanigans, Terry.
That is right. All right, one last thing. Daniel Bryan is trending.
Daniel Bryan is trending, and I think it has to do with Bray, because Daniel Bryan and Bray's run when Daniel was thinking about joining the Wyatt family, it was just an all-time moment. That steel cage match between the two of them was a phenomenal moment. Bray Wyatt, one of the best, man. He was a creative genius. He was a hell of an actor. I think it's one thing we haven't talked about is just how good Bray was when he was fully immersed in a role. Wonderful actor.
For sure.
So R.I.P. Bray Wyatt, my man, an absolute legend. He will be missed. I'm glad we got to see one of the last times that he did it. I am sad that we will never see him do it again. Have a great weekend. Don't drink and drive. Burns Rebels football tonight, 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kick. Tomorrow, Bet for the Cycle with me and Cody Decker on the BetQL Network. We'll see you all back here on Monday on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Later. Yeah.
Yeah, James. I remember seeing him on that tour.
Hulk Hogan, former bassist for Metallica. Hulk Hogan, star of the movie Titanic. Like, I just want Hogan lies to start trending now. All right, dudes, I got to jet because I got to go put the burn stuff together. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for being here. Burn starts at 7, kickoff at 7:30. Bet for the Cycle tomorrow. Social media all weekend.
Upstate Pulse. Don't forget Upstate Pulse.
Upstate Pulse, Saturday, 7 to 9. I'm sorry I didn't say it on the air, Lonzo, my bad friend.
It's all right.
And then AEW All In Sunday, and we'll talk about it on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.